When two objects collide, vibrations ripple outwards as powerful waveforms. These waves travel through the air, surge into the ear, and through the auditory system, firing signals deep into the brain. Meaning sound isn't just heard. It's felt in every nerve, every beat, every breath.
Here's the first ball of the Ashes.
This is the sound of history being made. Feel every moment of the Ashes with ABC Sport. Coming soon on ABC Radio and on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sport.
It's been 22 years in the making. The Kangaroos tour England.
What do Great Britain have to do to win a test? Ricketson scores his second try and writes history. For the first time since 1986, Australia win the test series 3-0.
In Rugby League's battle for the Ashes.
As we get underway, Nathan Cleary will kick on the 30-metre line. It's over the top, and it's knocked forward by England. Picked up by Hudson Young. He'll score the try. Staggs gets it away to Reece Walsh, who flies over the line. The big swan dive. And that will be all she wrote, with Australia retaining the Ashes. The first series in 22 years.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 Ashes series. England versus Australia. The third test, live from Headingley Stadium.
And a very good morning wherever you are listening right around Australia, or a very good afternoon if you are listening in the UK. And welcome to the third Ashes test between the Australian Kangaroos and England from Headingley Stadium in Leeds. Rugby League heartland, a purpose-built stadium for the Code as well, and a full house after tickets sold out in mere minutes. The home of the Leeds Rhinos today, it is England, who are looking to avoid a series whitewash that they experienced back in 2003, the last Ashes series 22 years ago. My name is Glenn Lord, and Michael Carianis will be alongside us, and John Gibbs is here as well. We would love to have your company on 0467 920 222 as we count down to the third Ashes test. We'll go through some team changes in just a few moments, but John Gibbs, a very good morning to you. Obviously not the series that England would have hoped for. They were slightly better in the second test, which was a real battle of attrition. As I said, we'll go through some of those team changes in just a few moments, but Australia sticking solid, in fact returning to the same lineup that they had in Game 1. Kevin Walters seems to be really looking to put the foot on the throat and wrap up this Ashes series in convincing style.
Yeah, good morning, Glenn, and to our MC. It's been an interesting test series, and obviously the game is played differently over there in England. There's no doubt about that, and Australia's copped some criticism for their lack of attack and being a bit clunky, but I think that's more, a byproduct of how the rules are applied over there. But England, they've been disappointing. But look, they showed plenty of physicality in the second test. But the bottom line is they could have been there for a month. They wouldn't have scored any points. George Williams retains the halves position and the captaincy. I thought maybe they might have rissoled him. You can make an argument about the Kangaroos making changes. But just a couple. Just before we talk to Michael, I know he loves the morsels, but Australia has won 15 straight versus England. Never has the Australian Test team won 16 straight against anyone, which is quite amazing. So this is big in terms of that. And as far as England goes, the past 4 tests that Australia's played England, they have scored a total of 14 points. So they're not over-endowed with ability and in attack. But they did show physicality. They're going to have to bustle the Kangaroos and hope that the Kangaroos make some errors if they're to at least, win one game.
I think one try this series as well. Darryl Clark back at Wembley. Michael Carianis, good morning to you. What do you make of the decision, obviously, Kevin Walters, to stick solid and really try to ramp this series up for the Kangaroos and come home with a big 3-0 win?
Yeah, good morning, boys. Gibbsy stole what I was going to lead with, so that's disappointing. But
you had morsels.
I did. Had them all lined up or written down on my notepad here. As for the...
You don't even bring a notepad.
As for the... I don't forget stuff like that your age. As for the kangaroo...
My ribs.
As for the Kangaroos, interesting. The fact that Kevy Walters has opted to go back to his first-string side. Obviously, as Yo back in for Lindsay Smith. I'm surprised by it. I'm comfortable with it because I think, I'm never going to be critical of a coach that believes they picked the best 17 to play for Australia, right? So I think we get into this mindset that, if you're on the tour, you should get a game. Well, I don't subscribe to that. However, I would have liked to have seen Bradman Best play. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to have seen Blake Brayley play, considering only because Blake Brayley is now the number 2 hooker for Australia. So he'll play a part in the World Cup next year, definitely, right, if, things don't change between now and then. So I would have given him a game. And the only player that I wouldn't have picked is Mark Nawaqanitawase because of the fact that, the series is done, it's won, and he's not going to be here to play in next year's World Cup. So, that would have been a couple of changes I would have made.
Obviously, the players that did come along, I guess, for the ride, guys like Jacob Preston, Mitchell Moses as well, who was there all last year as well. Do you get... The thing that I've been thinking about this week is obviously workloads are intense. Guys like Reece Walsh, guys like Nathan Cleary have played a lot of footy in 2025. Do you think, sometimes maybe Gibbsy, when there is a situation like a dead rubber, they have had big workloads? Is there that kind of argument to say, you know what, it has been a big year, you've done your work, now let's have a look at guys potentially like Ethan Strange, like Mitchell Moses, to come in and Dylan Edwards, I suppose, is one that's been there before, so maybe not as crucial to get him in. But is there an argument there to just give them a let up, or do they want to play every game?
No, they want to play every game. There is an argument, but if they were carrying injuries, the medical staff would be able to assess that.
Yeah.
And if they thought someone needed a break, they would give them a break. But you can go both ways, because if there was an injury or someone was out, these players would have to play. But I think the main thing about it is the blokes that are there, the 17, and Isaiah obviously being concussed in that first game, just notwithstanding, just the bulk of that team as it is, they've done the job. They want to give them the opportunity to get the whitewash. Whereas the thought, and I think it's a little bit antiquated, is that you don't want to give away the Australian jersey cheaply. Well, if they're selected to go over there in the first place, they're good enough to be playing for Australia. So they want to blood them by taking them on the tour or give them a game. So I don't have a problem either way. I'm like you, Michael. I don't subscribe to this theory that you should, throw them all out and play these other blokes just because they're there. That's ridiculous. Yep. But if they're there and you want to give them a game, I would also understand that. What I don't understand is from an England point of view, they're losing. They don't look like scoring tries, and they keep George Williams in the halves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really looking forward.
He's their captain, though, John T.
Well, so is Daly Cherry Evans.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
why did they get rid of him? Because they lost.
Yes.
And what happened when they changed?
I get that. But
Exhibit A, Michael.
It's a big call, right? It's not just a half, right? It's the captain as well.
So is Cherry Evans.
I get that.
But is Mikey Lewis, a better option? That's what you've probably got to ask yourself.
Probably Harry Smith and Mikey Lewis. I mean, George Williams has had a stinker of a season. He went all right in game one. He's the captain and he's the leader of their back line. And as I said previously, and I don't resile from it, they could have spent a month. Maybe it was the fact there was no lines on that pitch. I don't know, but they could have spent a month,
the try line?
and they wouldn't have scored.
Yeah.
And just going back to that, I digress. So I thought about it more, and when we're here and we're watching, it's all exciting, but it was pretty ridiculous.
It's poor
that we play a test match, the pinnacle of our game, internationally anyway, right? Internationally, going over to England, and they can't even have lines on the field.
Yeah. I wouldn't play at the venue.
Yeah.
If I was told, you can't mark it adequately, I'll go find somewhere else.
There was that 40-20 that Nathan Cleary kicked. He kicked it from 27 out from his own goal line. There was no drama with that. But
the second one...
How did the touch judge have any clue where that went over the line? you know...
They don't have any clue when there's lines, so how are they going when there are no lines?
And the white lines were hard enough to see, but the red 20-metre lines were impossible to see.
But it's like they had dots on there that they hadn't joined.
They were worried about the Premier... They were worried about the look for the Premier League.
They obviously told they couldn't do it because it's not a hard thing to do.
Speaking of that Test match, let's have a look back at the last two Test matches, first at Wembley and at the new Everton Stadium over the last 2 weeks, to see how the Ashes have been won for the Kangaroos and lost for England.
The 2025 Ashes Series. England versus Australia.
They're up over halfway through Walsh. They've got numbers as well. Here comes Marky Mark. Gets the ball back on the inside. Staggs gets it away to Reece Walsh, who flies over the line. The big swan dive. And the debutant Reece Walsh will score the opening try for Australia. Australia leading 8 points to 0. Come left. Angus Crichton goes straight through a gap. It's really starting to open up. He has numbers to the left of him, numbers to the right, but he doesn't need any of them. Angus Crichton goes himself and scores. 20 away from England's line. It's play 4. They come left through Din. Gets it to Cleary. On it goes Munster. Dummies goes himself back on the inside. Angus Crichton backing up for a double. Angus Crichton scores his second for Australia tonight. His fourth for Australia in his 9th Test match. And Australia are home and hose now, you'd have to think. 18 points to 0 with a kick to come. The blow-up Kangaroos are in the crowd, and the Kangaroos on the park are certainly starting to inflate as well. Coming to the left-hand side, Munster gets it away to Cleary out the back, keeping it alive for Walsh. Shibasaki numbers on the left. They've got 3-on-1. Shibasaki had Adokar on the left-hand side, but he had Reece Walsh on his right, and Reece Walsh is the man he chooses to go over and score his double on Test debut for Australia. It is 24 points to 0, and the siren will sound at Wembley Stadium. Sean Wayne, the England coach, cuts the forlorn figure on the touchline. A double for Reece Walsh on debut. He is all smiles, as he always is. There are questions on the face of Sean Wayne. He is absolutely stunned by this result. It has been a thoroughly dominant performance, particularly in the second half by the Australians. Reece Walsh with a double, Angus Crichton with a double as well. And after leading by 8 points to 0 at half-time with one try and a penalty goal as well, it has finished at Wembley Stadium. The Kangaroos, in the first Ashes Test, have defeated England 26 points to 6. George Williams will be getting us underway for England, and they will be kicking towards the southern end of the Everton Stadium. Australia with first use of the football through Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Left out of dummy half goes Grant. Cleary, Munster, dummies, goes himself. Still going Cam Munster. He might go all the way. He does. Cameron Munster scores the try. He slides over the line. The referee will check for a double movement, but this looks like momentum, and I think Australia might have the first try. Nathan Cleary will kick on the 30-metre line. It's over the top, and it's knocked forward by England. Picked up by Hudson Young. He'll score the try. Well, this could be floodgates opening in the second half for Australia. Lewis at dummy half again. They go right for Morgan Knowles, and that will be all she wrote, with Australia retaining the Ashes. The first series in 22 years, but Australia has wrapped it up with a test to play.
The 2025 Ashes Series. England versus Australia.
Yeah, we just heard those highlights of the second test at the Everton Stadium, where it was a real dour encounter, 14 points to 4. Grant Atkins, the Australian referee, who's in charge this afternoon. Boys, we thought that Grant Atkins might have had a bit of more an expansive attitude to his 10 metres and maybe let things flow. Well, he followed the letter of the law in terms of the Super League and the RFL, where it was the tight 10, slow ruck speed continued. I want to look at a stat. Australia only had 2 line breaks for that whole test match. You look at the back 4 of Australia: Katoni Staggs, Josh Adokar, Gemmet Shibasaki, and Mark Nwanganidoaze. They were the top 4 line breakers in the NRL this season, with a 99 combined between them. So defensively for that England side, and we have spoken about it, if they muscle up this afternoon but can get things right in attack, can they find something?
No.
Okay.
Because they're not good enough in attack. And Australia's defence is very good. just to that point, right, the 2 line breaks that Australia made, they're the only 2 in the game, right? So irrespective of who they're playing. So England completed, 10% more sets than them. They had nearly double the amount of possession in the opposition's 20, and they made far more tackle busts. Yet Australia were the only ones who scored tries. So, and just by the way, when I'm talking about George Williams, it was George Williams who missed. It was dubious too. Might have been a bit of obstruction, but he was the one that threw Munster over the line as well. That's just another point. So I just don't think they're up to it. I just don't think they are up to it. But it's a dead rubber, and how many times do we see in a game that is of no consequence, relatively speaking? You can say, the players do want to win 3-0, but is the attitude going to be the same? Haven't they been in Scotland, Michael? Didn't they go there?
They spent one night in Scotland, yeah. They spent a night in Scotland. The Kangaroos, they got some time off.
Let their hair down?
Yeah, they're allowed.
But that's what a kangaroo tour should be about. So it's obviously been a really condensed... This has been a condensed kangaroo tour as well. It's
condensed.
3 games.
It's been a blink of an eye.
Yeah. Smash and grab job.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I don't think the Kangaroos have been that great. Defensively, as you said, Jonty, they've been outstanding, but their attack hasn't been amazing. And it was Munster's individual...
Been ordinary.
Munster's individual... And that's what the Pommies don't have, right? Like, you look at the Kangaroos, the Aussie side, like, Munster turned the game when nothing was really doing. England had...
Bruce Walsh in game 1.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's probably the only thing that's really... I don't think the sides have been that far apart. Because I don't think Australia's been that good.
No, and their tackling, England's tackling in the second test was quite good. But I think, as I said before, I think it's more a consequence of how the rules are applied. That aside, if they have a dig, and they're quite physical, which England have been, they didn't miss a lot of tackles in game 2, then it's hard to score against them. It's hard to get anything going. I mean, Nathan Cleary's got criticism, but he has played his part, and it's really difficult when sides are like this. So when he put that kick across that Hudson Young ultimately scored from, when it was batted back by Katoni Staggs, that was a great kick. And when a game is tight, that's the type of thing that makes a difference. You need a good kicking game.
Just on that kicking game, George Williams got a little bit of success at Wembley when he was kicking in behind the line, those little grubber kicks close to the line. They had a lot of ball at Australia's line last week, as you just touched on, but he didn't really, those little balls into the end goal, those little grubbers in behind the line, he didn't really come up with them last week.
No, he didn't, and you're right. And when a side is good defensive side, we see it in the NRL. How many times has the defensive line broken by a great kick in behind and a centre or a back rower, an edge forward running onto it and scoring a try. But George Williams, I don't want to be picking on poor old Georgie boy, but...
He's going to be out here soon, be careful.
No, that'll be the year after. Can you believe
27.
That? So, he's going to be going well then. 2027.
He'll be 33.
Maybe he's going to improve.
I'm going to have to put you on the feud list.
No, I don't think so. No, I'm just going on what has been shown. Last week, it was so lateral. Yeah. It was everything was across it. They run out of space. Even when Australia had a player in the sin bin, when Reece Walsh was sin bin, they had a numerical advantage. Australia looked like they had 15 men. They couldn't score.
Well, both teams are making their way out onto Headingley Stadium. Australia with a poppy on the jersey above the Australian crest on the left breast. England is wearing a Remembrance Day anniversary or commemorative red kit, and both captains, George Williams and Isaiah Yeo, are carrying out poppy wreaths onto Headingley Stadium. We will hear a last post ceremony to honour Remembrance Day, which is obviously coming up in 2 days' time in Australia, 3 in the UK on the 11th of November. So we will head down pitch side for those commemorations in just a few moments. But a wonderful atmosphere, a full house at a really traditional rugby league ground at Headingley. And you can hear the fans already in full voice ahead of this last post ceremony and a minute's silence. At special occasions in international sport.
Of this Remembrance Weekend, we ask you to please stand if you are able for the last post, performed by Cadet Jacob Gill, which will be followed by a minute's silence, starting and ending on the referee's whistle.
impeccably observed at a full Headingley Stadium. The biggest atmosphere of the series, and now it's time for the anthems.
But first, the national anthem of Australia, performed by Rebecca Hart.
Australian national anthem at Headingley. And now we'll hear from Laura Wright, the God Save the King.
God save our gracious King, Lord, King, our noble King. God save the King.
By Laura Wright, and now this strong rugby league community in Leeds will get behind its side in the hope of avoiding an Ashes whitewash at the hands of the Australian Kangaroos. The lineups for this afternoon: the home side, England, their fullback is AJ Brimson, their wingers Joe Burgess coming in for the injured Dom Young and Tom Johnson. Herbie Farnworth is in the setters alongside Harry Newman, who replaces Jake Wardle, and in the halves George Williams and Harry Smith. Mike McMeekin and Matty Lees are in the front row. Jez Litton is the hooker. Callum Watkins and Kai Pearce-Paul the second rowers. Morgan Knowles is the lock forward. Mikey Lewis, Alex Wormsley, Morgan Smithies and Nikolai Aletsky on the bench. Owen Trout is the 18th man. For Australia, Reece Walsh, the fullback. The wingers, Mark Nwanganitawaze and Josh Adokar. Kotoni Staggs and Gemmet Shibasaki are the centres. Cam Munster and Nathan Cleary are in the halves. Pat Grant and Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Patrick Carrigan and Tino Fa'asuamaleaui are the front rowers, and Harry Grant is the hooker. Angus Crichton and Hudson Young are the second rowers. Isaiah Yeo is back from that HIA enforced layoff in the second test to captain the side at lock forward. Tom Dearden, Lindsay Collins returns to the bench. Ruben Cotter and Keon Kolomatangi make up the interchange players. Bradman Best once again is the 18th man. Grant Atkins will be in charge, the NRL referee for this third Ashes test. His touch judges are Warren Turley and Johnny Roberts. Tom Grant will be in the video referees box for this one. And John Gibbs, what do you think is going to happen?
I think Australia will win, but I don't think it'll be a big margin again. I think it'll be hard fought, and I'd like to see Grant Atkins get them further apart.
Yeah, I think we'll see some points for the first time in this series, but the Kangaroos will do enough to win.
Let's get us underway. As I mentioned, England wearing that red commemorative Remembrance Day kit. The Australians, with their captain Isaiah Yeo back in the side, will have first use of the football, with England kicking towards the northern end of Headingley Stadium. Leeds is bathed in late autumn sunshine and perfect conditions for rugby league. The third Ashes test just about to get underway. And Harry Smith will send it down towards the northern end. And listen to the roar of the local fans, as Australia will spin it with first use of the football, almost losing the ball, but Pat Carrigan takes it low around his knees and then goes to ground, 12 away from the line. England expecting Tino Fa'asuamaleaui to take a strong hit up with the first carry, but Australia shook it up a bit, throwing it across the face. Second play, they're 20 away from the line, and then left-hand side they come towards that eastern side of Headingley Stadium, and they'll play the ball 12 away from the line through Big Tino. Now Isaiah Yeo back in the side after that concussion. 10 minutes into the first test at Wembley. He'll be in for a big one this afternoon. 33 away from the line. Grant scoots out a dummy half. Splits the line over the 40 over halfway. Chipping and chasing is Reece Walsh now. And coming across to save the day for England, Joe Burgess. Oh, Australia almost scored inside the first minute with Harry Grant's chip over the top. Chased down by Reece Walsh, and Joe Burgess had to be quick to snuff that one out. England will start this set still deep in their own territory, about 6 away, no score after a minute.
Well, Harry Grant didn't do that at all in the second test. He took some wrong options, and he was closely marked, but he split them open, and he was looking to get the pass to one of his teammates, but he couldn't do that, so he put the kick over the top. Reece Walsh was herring after it, but it was saved today, as you say, by Joe Burgess. And there's a penalty, hands in the ruck, and England get out of trouble.
It'll be disappointing for the Australians because we spoke about the lack of line breaks in the first test. There's one inside 30 seconds there, and England get a bit of a piggyback here, MC.
Yeah, they get one, and it was up until the Harry Grant line break, it was quite a very good defensive set from England first up, but Harry Grant split him open, and as Jonty said, he was looking for Reece Walsh on the inside, but England scrambled well to ensure that he had to put a kick through, and now they get an opportunity with the first play just on their 40.
Yeah, Callum Watkins will play the ball 40 metres away from his own goal line. One of 3 Leeds players playing in front of home fans this afternoon, alongside Harry Newman and also Mikolaj Oletsky on the bench. And England have the ball 4 metres away from the halfway line, where they extend that just inside Australia's territory, a few centimetres over the halfway stripe in centre field. Speaking of the halfway stripe, it's nice to see some lines on the field after that second test at Everton had everyone confused. And now Callum Watkins has another carry here, 9 inside Australia's territory. They come to the left, where Smith is waiting for halfback, gets it away to Herbie Farnworth on the left-hand side this week after spending the first couple of tests on the right with Jake Wardle. And now on the final play, 35 away from Australia's line. They go to the skies. Having to look right into the sun was Reece Walsh, but he takes it well. That sun really low in the sky as well in the late afternoon, in late autumn in the UK. So that'll be a tough one for Reece Walsh, but he took it well. And now Josh Adokar will have a carry up towards the 10-metre line.
And again, those in-goal areas are very skinny, as is the way with all of the grounds in England. Here's a good break by Shibasaki.
Yeah, England were up quick in defence, and he bounced off the tackle. He gets up to the 20-metre line, but they wrap him up fairly quickly. A couple of early danger signs for England, whose defence has been pretty good in the first couple of test matches, particularly in the second. But that was a good tackle break, and now Australia can race up past the 30-metre line, and they'll take the tackle through Nwanga about 8 metres inside that western touchline. They come to the left, and Hudson Young takes it up to within 10 metres of England's the halfway line. 9 away from it now as Hudson Young gets up and plays the ball for Harry Grant. Left-hand side he'll go for Munster. The kick outside 40. It's straight down the ground, and waiting for it and taking it comfortably is Burgess again. He returns up over the 20. He's brought to ground 27 away and loses the ball. So this will be a really good attacking opportunity for Australia. They think about challenging here, but as it stands, it's a knock on and a scrum feed to Australia, 27 away from England's line. No score after 4, MC.
Yeah, they're talking about challenging it there. That's what Johnston wanted to do. George Williams wasn't too sure, and lucky they didn't, because I feel like that ball was ricocheted into Josh Adokar.
Absolutely. He lost the ball, so he thought about it, looked at his skipper and said, no, I dropped it.
Yeah, it was a clear, as you say, ricochet into...
Joe Burgess in the side, he's been around forever. He played for the Roosters and South Sydney. And
in the same season?
Yeah, you can't really, remember him doing much, can you?
No.
Well, that's why he played for 2 clubs in one season. As they go to the right-hand side.
Now he's playing for England. In
his first test match since 2015. A recall 10 years later for the 31-year-old. Left-hand side, Australia. They get Cleary linking up with Fa'asuamaleaui. He's 12 away from the line in centre field with a couple of England players, including Matty Lees, coming over the top. And there's a bit of a wrestle in the ruck. Fa'asuamaleaui now standing over the top of him and giving Matty Lees what for. Now there's a bit of a push and shove as Lee's teammates come in to assist. Now Lees will have another go at Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. No punches thrown, but certainly quite a bit of push and shove. Jez Litton was heavily involved as well. Grant Atkins will tell him to get on with it, and Fa'asuamaleaui will play the ball 12 metres away from the line. But as we saw in that second test, certainly no love lost. Grant's at dummy half left for Cleary, gets it away to Munster. Ball over the top for Josh Adokar, scores the try. Well, the line was wide open for the Fox, who hasn't had to do much in the first couple of test matches, but he strolls over and scores his 14th test try. Australia lead 4-0, just over 5 minutes gone.
Yeah, well, that will give Josh Adokar a lot of pleasure back in the Australian side, and his story of redemption this year has been a beauty. He had an outstanding season for Parramatta, but again, that man Munster. But this was all after the ball was dropped by Joe Burgess. And on the left wing is Josh Adokar. Burgess is the right winger. He's given an opportunity to Australia. Tino, who rather these days have a fight than a feed, he's just niggled them. Harry Grant's given a good ball on the outside, and out it went. But Munster's ball was a beauty, and Joe Burgess is infield looking for something.
What about that ball from Cam Munster? That was well timed. That was outstanding. And Josh Adokar, he helped get the Kangaroos the football with a strong kick chase and put some pressure on the English winger and gets a reward with he had a little bit of work to do, but it was all about the pass from Cam Munster.
A really narrow defence from England on that right.
Burgess had raced in. He'd made the mistake, obviously, when he was, hit and was dispossessed of the ball, and then he raced in. It was Grant, Cleary, good crisp passes, and then Munster's pass, as you say, Michael, was a peach.
Big loss, Dom Young for England, breaking his foot, of course, after being taken in mid-air by Reece Walsh in that second test match. So Joe Burgess was the man with a call-up. Nathan Cleary now just inside that eastern touchline. England fans behind him trying to put him off his game. Some Broncos fans as well. And Nathan Cleary just kisses the upright on the way through and adds the extra 6 points.
The ball did anyway.
Yes, Nathan Cleary didn't kiss the upright. Straight through, and Australia leads 6 points to 0 as Josh Adokar gets his Ashes campaign off to a start. Hasn't had to run over 100 metres this series.
No, not many players have. Tom Johnson, he made the most metres in that second test, which is very tight. But isn't it good to see some attacking football?
Yeah, they look free, the Kangaroos, don't they?
This is a deep kick-off down onto the goal line, and it will be Tino Fa'asuamaleaui with the first hit up after points, 11 metres away from his own goal line. Trying to get free of Matty Lees, who's laying in the ruck, and now Grant Atkins will give the penalty. It's already starting to be a bit of a running battle between Tino and Matty Lees, but Lees wouldn't clear the ruck there, and Australia get a penalty after the first play after points 10 away from their own goal.
I'll back Tino.
It's funny, Tino, he doesn't have this in the NRL, right? He's not usually one of those. The siren's gone. It was that hopeful wish from England.
Call it now.
Premature.
7.5 gone, and Australia already leading 6-0. This man's had a great series. I've given him the absolute mock there, Angus Crichton. He's lost the ball. It was a pretty straightforward hit up from Angus Crichton, his first touch of the game, and he loses it 30 metres away from the line, similar to what happened with Burgess, just bouncing into an England play. There might have been a hand in there as he went to ground, but it's
loose carry.
8 minutes gone, and it'll be an England scrum feed, trailing 6 points to 0.
They'll learn to hang on to the ball a lot tighter than that. There's no doubt that players are in there scratching and trying to come up with sort of a disguise steal, if you like, but they've got to hang on to the ball tighter.
So 33 away from Australia's line. England have the scrum. They go short right-hand side, and they find themselves through AJ Brimson, 27 away and 11 in from that eastern touchline. So they come back to the open side. One off the ruck left-hand side comes Kai Pearce-Paul. He's 25 away from Australia's line. Slow to get up again are the Australians. Drama here for AJ Brimson. He's clutching at his right shoulder, so we'll keep an eye on that one. That could be a big loss for England already without Dom Young through their back line. They're 13 away from the line now. Left for George Williams. who lacked in attack in the first 2 test matches. Can't find a way through. Here he's 10 away from the line centre field. They go to the right. Harry Smith, short ball. Trying to find a way through now is Mike McMeekin, but he's held up in the tackle, 2 away from the goal line of Munster. Now they come left. It's the final play. Harry Smith will shift it. Williams dinking kick over the top, flying high and taking it beautifully. As you'd expect, is Mark Wanganita-Waze. That is a wonderful take, leaping into the air with the fingers pointing skywards, and Australia will come away from their own line with a 6-0 lead after 9.5.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure there, and the kick is going to be their best weapon in scoring a try, but that was a beautiful take by Wanganita-Waze. He got up above them, as you say, Glenn, and he took it on his fingertips. That is a concern, that injury for AJ Brimson, because if he's out, there's not much on the bench. Mikey Lewis will have to come on and have to have a major reshuffle.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do there. Mikey Lewis can play in a variety of positions, so a little bit of a utility there. He's played at fullback in the past, so that would probably be the likely option. Isaiah Yeo plays at 30 away. Final play, left-hand side they go. Munster kicking over the top and chasing. Brimson looks to be okay at this stage because he's there to collect and takes the tackle 29 away from his own goal line. But he does look in a bit of discomfort. He's clutching at it again. I don't think AJ Brimson's getting through the rest of this game. 35 away from England's line in centre field. Yeah, he's going off now, AJ Brimson. So this will be interesting to see what they come up with.
That is collarbone.
And they have the ball 9 short of the halfway line in centre field. So big loss for England with AJ Brimson out just 10 minutes into this second test. And you'd have to think maybe missing part of the pre-season. As they spin it to the right-hand side now, goes through the hands, but they run out of space. They were trying to get the ball over on the right-hand side to Burgess. The referee saying that it stayed in play. I'm not sure about that. Farnworth with the last pass right-hand side, and Burgess somehow managed to keep it in before the touchline. So they come back to the left. It's play 4, back on the inside for Matty Lees. He's 30 away from Australia's line. Strong carry from Matty Lees. Good post-contact meters. Centre field plays the ball on the last. Lytton at dummy half, right-hand side, Williams, short ball, Pierce Paul, looks for the offload, doesn't have any support, takes the tackle on the last, and changeover for Australia, who lead 6-0 after 11 minutes.
Yeah, that was a better set from England, but again, their finish wasn't great. They stripped the Kangaroos for numbers on England's right-hand side, so Kai Pierce Paul needed to find a pass on the outside because I thought there was some space and a bit of opportunity.
There was a poor end to the set, wasn't it, for England? 25 away from their own line, Australia. You're with Michael Carianis, John Gibbs and Glenn Lauder on ABC Sports coverage of the Ashes. Thank you for listening via the ABC Sport Extra button on the ABC Listen app and on ABC Sport Digital as well. Give us a text message, 0467 920 222. Angus Crichton with the ball for Australia, about 6 metres short of the halfway line, held up in the tackle, and will play the ball for Harry Grant. Now he comes right out of dummy half for Munster. Dummies goes himself into traffic. Watkins was there alongside Morgan Knowles to bring Munster down right on the halfway line. And he'll be getting up slowly and playing the ball for Grant again. He comes short right-hand side on the last for Cleary. Kicking down the right channel, chasing is Hudson Young. Waiting for it is Tom Johnson, who's had a pretty good series on that left wing for England, and he takes the tackle 24 away from his own goal line and 15 in from the western touchline. So now they come through Farnworth. He's wearing number 4, not 3 this test match, as he was in the first couple of test matches. And Farnworth scoots out a dummy half over the 40-metre line on the next carry, 5 short of the halfway line, and gets up after the tackle of Pat Carrigan, his former Brisbane teammate. Lytton out a dummy half, one off the ruck right-hand side, McMeekin, and McMeekin's 4 metres inside Australia's territory. Lytton quickly out of dummy half, trying to get the markers offside. They will get a penalty here. Cameron Munster is arguing the point. Harry Grant came over the top late. It's the tackle for Harry Grant over the top late. I thought the markers might have been offside anyway. And now he's saying play the ball. So I'm sure he blew a restart penalty there.
Yeah, he did. He blew a penalty, but realised it was outside the 20 or 40, so he had to give a penalty, set restart back to back. And Harry Grant, well, I thought was entitled because, as he said, the English player had the ball was still in the air, so he just finished the tackle off. He was filthy, Harry Grant.
They get another set here as well because Isaiah Yeo was tangled as the England player got up and played the ball. Now Watkins plays at 25 away from Australia's line. Right-hand side for McMeekin. He's got a couple of Australians, Fasumala Awi and Crichton, hanging on to him. They're 19 from Australia's line. Right short goes Harry Smith towards the line. He's only 5 away. Reece Walsh is there with Pat Carrigan to stop him. Smith plays the ball, Lytton out at dummy half left. Williams is waiting for it, gets it away to Lewis, who's on the field. So he'll be at fullback, Mikey Lewis. And Wanganita-Waze was just toying with the in-goal line. they're going to have a look at this. Mark Nwanganito-Aze was toying with that dead ball line. He would have done incredibly if he doesn't touch it. But then he got the pass away as he was trying to get out of the
I think he dropped it. Yeah. I think it was more good luck that Nwanganito-Aze didn't have a catastrophe then. He's in the goal area. He was toying with him, as you say. He retrieved the kick.
So he loses it backwards.
I don't think he did.
His foot might not have touched it.
And then
loses it backwards.
Did he flick that back?
No.
Surely not. He lost it.
He drops it.
But he lost it backwards.
I think his original plan was to run dead and then realised there was some opportunity there because the English chase wasn't great. And he tiptoes. What does he treat the in-goal line like John?
Like a precipice. His actual spatial awareness, and we've seen it on many occasions in our LSU, is unbelievable. For such a big man, and they couldn't believe that he didn't touch the dead ball line because, as you say, Michael, he did treat it as a precipice. But really, what about the flick back? He lost it.
They're not looking at it. They're happy with that. It was flicked backwards. Harry Grant picked it up and he came out of the in-goal. And Australia can continue this set on play 2. 10 away from their own goal line. Australia leading 6-0 over England after 14 minutes, thanks to a try to Josh Adokar, his first of the series. Fasumala Aoi is 15 away from the line. And now one off the ruck comes Pat Carrigan up over the 20-metre line for Australia. And a good carry as well from Pat Carrigan as he backs into traffic, makes a few extra metres and plays at 29 away from his line. Grant shifts direction out at dummy half, goes left for Munster to kick inside 30. This could go all the way down. They had to chase across. And England in the end through Mikey Lewis does really well to stop that one going over the touchline for a 40-20. That was a huge kick from Cameron Munster, but Mikey Lewis was there, and now England once again have to do it tough out of their own red zone. 21 away in centre field. Johnson has the ball. Australia 6, England 0 after 15.
And just showing all their versatility, as you say, Glenn. So Mikey Lewis has just slotted straight into AJ Brimson's fullback position.
They have the ball 30 away from their line. Left-hand side they come for McMeekin. He takes the ball up 34 away in centre field. Strong hit as well by Harry Grant coming over the top. And now England go to the right-hand side. They have the ball through Matty Lees, and he will take it to within around about 7 metres of the halfway line. Now they come left. Final play. They'll be kicking just outside 40. Josh Adokar has to come across and collect it on the 20-metre line. He takes it over his shoulder. Pretty good take again from Josh Adokar. And he's met in a strong chase from the England side, led by George Williams and Jez Litton. He plays the ball 27 away from the line. They come to the right-hand side. And Gimat Shibasaki takes the ball up over the 30, held up in the tackle. McMeekin and 2 other England players involved. Plays the ball centre field. Grant right out of dummy half to Nwanganito-Aze. And that's a good carry as well by the Roosters flyer. 9 metres away from the halfway line. 20 in from the western touchline with Australia leading 6-0. Yo through their hands to his Penrith teammate Cleary. Gets it away to Munster over the halfway line. And Munster's brought to ground 1.5 metres inside England's territory after the tackle of Kai Pearce-Paul. Grant dummy half. Cleary's waiting for it on the right-hand side. Tries to think about passing, but he goes himself into the line, and now he's 37 away on the final play from England's line. So Munster will kick after Cleary plays the ball. Flying through is Reece Walsh to chase the kick. England's players get in the way of each other, Johnson and Lewis, and it's lost ball because of the pressure that Reece Walsh put on them. Lewis and Johnson didn't put a name on it. Reece Walsh forces the error. Australia get the ball back. They'll be 10 away from England's goal line, and they lead 6-0. Did Reece Walsh get a finger on it?
I don't think so. That was a great effort, though, by Reece Walsh. He came through and he put the pressure on those 2 players, Mikey Lewis and Tom Johnson, and they've lost the ball. Good work there by Reece Walsh. They get a great opportunity here. You would think if they hang on to the ball here, Australia, they will score again.
Well, they have a scrum 10 metres away from England's line. Cleary will feed it right in the middle of the park. England are 1 short in the scrum. So Australia are asking for a penalty for... Oh, it was the halfback wasn't there. And Cleary's saying, well, shouldn't that be a penalty? And Grant Atkins said the game hadn't restarted. So they go left after winning the scrum. Cam Munster tries to find a way through. 4 England players stop him close to the line. 1 metre away. 17-20 gone. Australia 6, England 0. Grant's waiting for it at dummy half. Right is a wide first receiver, Cleary. Then close for Pat Carrigan. He backs into traffic, takes the tackle, goes to ground on his back, 10 away from the line. Second play for Australia, looking for their second try. Grant scoots out of dummy half himself, left, goes towards the line, and they have to scramble to bring him down. Matty Lewis doing the defending, 2 away. Carrigan goes into dummy half. Left-hand side, Cleary changes direction back towards the ruck. Now he gets it away to Isaiah Yeo. They don't know where they're going here, Australia. A little bit rudderless. The fans think there was some obstruction. Grant Atkins says, no, I think it was absolutely fine as well. Isaiah Yeo just goes back in and takes the tackle 4 away from the line. Grant, right-hand side. Cleary, back left-hand side. Poor pass from Nathan Cleary. Goes to ground, picked up by Matty Lees. He was going to the right and wanted to change direction back in the left, but there was no one to pass it to. And Australia have defending to do as England come away from their own line, leading 6-0 after 18 minutes. Farnworth gets it away, and Burgess will take the tackle 33 away from his own goal line, MC.
Yeah, pretty poor set from the Kangaroos. Outside Cameron Munster's, and Harry Grant almost looked like he was going to score out of dummy half. England scrambled well because they had such a big gap in between their 8 defenders on their line, but Nathan Cleary just looked a little bit lost a couple of times. Nathan Cleary with the ball there, then forced a pass as England receive a penalty. Yeah, there was players offside for Australia, and this will be a penalty 37 metres away from England's line. Pat Carrigan, a guilty party there. He was just not clearing the ruck, and it didn't allow England to get a clear play the ball or a clear pick-up at dummy half. So that'll be a penalty for England, and they will find touch just inside Australia's territory, with Australia leading 6-0 after 19, John.
Yeah, that was a good kick, actually. Good touch finder there. So 40 metres out, they will start their attacking set. Their physicality, again, has been pretty good. That was good defence. They sort of bustled Australia into an error. But, again, they go a little bit too lateral there. Individually, their effort's good, Glenn. They just stopped putting it together as a team.
Well, they have the ball through Lewis, 35 away from the line. Left for Morgan Knowles, through the hands to Smith. Gets it away to Callum Watkins, who gets past Cleary. Almost goes towards the line, and Harry Grant and Reece Walsh scramble to bring him down 11 away. Lytton at dummy half. Right-hand side he goes. Short ball from Knowles, getting it away to on the field for England is Morgan Smithies. He plays the ball 8 metres away from Australia's goal line in centre field. Getting up and playing it for Lytton dummy half. They get 6 again. A full set at Australia's line, 8 away. Smith will change direction. Left for Mikey Lewis. Lewis takes the tackle, 12 away centre field. Lytton scoots out of dummy half, back towards the ruck, trying to find a way through. Tried to split the markers there, and he's only a metre away from the line, underneath the sticks. Waiting for it, left-hand side they come, is Harry Smith at first receiver. Gets it away to Williams. He takes the tackle, 8 away from the line. Herbie Farnworth waiting at dummy half now. Third play for England. They come to the right. Smith's at a wide first receiver. Lytton standing still as he gets the ball. Now he gets it away to Morgan Smithies. They've lost a little bit of momentum in this set, has England, and Morgan Smithies will play it 11 away from Australia's line. They come left. Williams grubbering towards the in-goal. Nwanga loses it. Watkins falls on it. Does he get a touch? Walsh lands on it as well to wrap the ball up. This will be at the worst an Australian goal line dropout at best, and England try.
Knock on England, please.
Watkins, does he get a touch? Grant Atkins says it's a knock-on from Watkins. May have gone back for Australia, and they might have got away with this, the Australians. What say you, John Gibbs? 21 gone, Australia 6 0.
Body language would suggest that he hasn't been able to put the ball down, Callum Watkins. So good kick from George Williams in behind the attacking line. Nwanga Nidiwaze fumbles it, but I think Watkins also fumbles it.
Well, I reckon, MC, it's probably gone backwards off Nwanga Nidiwaze. So
I reckon he knocks it on. I think it's a double knock-on. I think the live decision will stand, having not had a closer look at the
head on. The head on will show it, Michael, but I think Callum Watkins, he's knocked it on.
Please. I don't see how that goes
go backwards
forward from Nwanga Nidiwaze. He touches it in the field of play.
Reece in front of him.
So come back, please. Come back.
Be a straight knock. That's a knock-on.
Yeah, that's a knock-on.
It's a knock-on by
Keep playing through.
Nwanga Nidiwaze, but I don't think Watkins gets it.
Tom Grant is the new man in the video referee's box after Jack Clark in the first 2 test matches. Yeah, that is a knock-on for Nwanga Nidiwaze. And now they need to look at whether Watkins gets a touch. It doesn't look like he does.
So it'll be a scrum. It'll be a scrum
to England because it was
in relation to the ground.
10 metres out.
To this point.
It's just
so there's gone backwards, yeah.
Nwanga Nidiwaze.
You can stay in this angle.
Grant Atkins even said to him, no, it's a knock-on.
Yeah.
So keep going through. We're looking for a second touch at this point.
Now does Watkins might miss this.
Who gets that first? Is that England or is it Australia? Anything else on that, please?
Yeah.
Grant's still
A live call of no try.
coaching.
Grant Atkins is into Tom Grant's ear
we've already
here.
cleared this part of the decision.
Originally it was knocked on. That was a knock-on, then it went backwards. He was moving backwards.
I agree.
And that's why it gives the impression.
He knocks it into his knee first, which makes it a knock-on.
But they've cleared that initial.
Yeah, I know, yeah, saying it's gone backwards. But does Watkins get a fingertip on this, or Norganidawase? I reckon Norganidawase touches that first with his right hand.
That's a knock-on by Australia. So let's see what happens to the ball at this point.
Well, Watkins doesn't ground it.
Australia regain possession, keep playing through.
You can see it by his face that he has
stops the game.
Yeah.
Make a decision.
So this is going to be an England scrum feed, 10 away from Australia's line. Well, Norganiddawase's original knock-on was in the field playing.
Yeah, but they ruled that was okay.
No, but he's just said a knock-on by Australia. Is he saying that the Norganidawase touches it before Watkins? Yeah, goal line dropout. So the second one is...
The first one, which was a knock-on also, by the way, was ruled to be no knock-on, and the second one was ruled to be a knock-on. So as a result, a line dropout, more pressure coming up. Surely they'll go the short line dropout.
Cleary is indicating as much, high in the air towards the western touchline. Williams will take it almost like a rugby union kickoff. In fact, Johnson ends up the highest and takes it 19 away from Australia's line. Litton's at dummy half, right-hand side for Callum Watkins. He's 12 away from Australia's line in centre field. More than a quarter gone now. Australia 6, England 0. And a strong carry towards the line. Mike McMeekin, he almost got through, but Harry Grant, once again, there to go down low and wrap him up close to the line. Litton out at dummy half. Right, Harry Smith. Williams is there as well. Now back on the inside, Kai Pearce-Paul. He gets a one-handed offload back to Williams backing up, and Munster is there quickly to wrap up his opposite number 13 away from the line. They come left now. McMeekin's at first receiver. Strong run back into the defence, and he goes on his back, takes the tackle, 8 away from the line, centre field, with Isaiah Yeo coming over the top. Final play for England. Left for Smith. Gets it away for Lewis. Pass out the back to nobody. It went behind Herbie Farnworth and over the touchline, and Australia will get the ball back. Another poor end to an England set. Herbie Farnworth was way in front of that pass, and Lewis has just passed to absolutely nobody. He didn't read that at all well. Australia get the ball. 6-0 they lead, 22 gone.
Well, Mikey Lewis chiming into the back line in his role as a fullback, and you can see that he doesn't do it that often because the pass is a poor one. But Australia, they had to come up with plenty of tackles there. The defence under enormous pressure was pretty good.
Hasn't started at fullback since the 18th of August 2023 as Mikey Lewis. And he does have 5 tries in 9 games, though. And now Australia are being told just to take it back on the mark, about 12 metres away from their own goal line. Reuben Cotter is on the park for Australia now. Good, strong carry. He's been really good this series as well. He's played big minutes off the bench, Reuben Cotter, and heavily involved. 27 away from the line. They spin it through their hands right. Ends up with Cleary, who goes to the line, takes the tackle of Watkins and McMeekin. 12 away from halfway. Grant scooting out at dummy half. Gets it away to Collins, straight through the line. Lindsay Collins, first touch of the game, and he's made about 40 metres. He's 23 away from England's line. Grant attacking, left-hand side, Walsh, Grubbers for himself. He think he lost the ball, so he put it on the toe. Lewis gets down low and picks it up a metre away from the line. Well, England get a let-off there, and I reckon it might have been because Reece Walsh didn't have particularly good control of that ball, so he opted to grubber through, and England will come away from their line. 12 out, they trail 6-0 after 24.
Yeah, it was a great pick-up by Michael Lewis there at fullback. He threw a pad pass a couple of minutes ago, but he scooped that ball up at pace with Reece Walsh charging through, because if he didn't scoop that up cleanly, it would have been a Kangaroos try.
Harry Newman is 19 away from the line. He plays it now. England lose the ball as they spin it to the left-hand side. Smithies is there to dive on the loose ball, but a disappointing loss there from Morgan Knowles. He loses it for England close to the line, only 20 out from his own goal line, and this is a good opportunity again for Australia to try to find a second try after Josh Addo-Carr's first. They lead 6-0 after 24.
Yeah, that was a bad blunder there by Morgan Knowles, but it was cleaned up there by Morgan Smithies. So one Morgan made the mistake, but good hustle by Morgan Smithies, because otherwise there would have been a counter-attack and Australia would have been scoring there and then.
Yeah, but 2 Morgans don't make it right after the first knock-on. As they go to the left-hand side, Grant, Munster. It's early, Gibbsy, or is it late? I don't know.
It's both.
We're all a bit delirious. Third test in. Munster will get up and play it. 19 away from the line. Right for Cleary. Back on the inside, Reuben Cotter. And Cotter will take the tackle 16 away from the line in centre field. Getting up slowly. Playing it for Harry Grant. Right for Cleary. Now Munster sees it go across the face. Matrix style. It ends up with Reece Walsh. He changes direction. Right back to left. Short ball for Crichton. Might have been forward the fans. didn't like it, but it's a great tackle from George Williams, one-on-one. Crichton plays it, Grant out of dummy half, left for Cleary, gets it away to Walsh, stops Crops, goes to the right. Crichton now trying to find a way through. One-handed carry, maybe an offload. No, he takes the tackle. Held up, 8 away from the line. It's the fourth play for Australia. Grant shapes to go right, comes left, has Isaiah Yeo back towards traffic, takes the tackle, 5 away from the line, right in front of the sticks at the southern end at Headingley. Plays the ball for Grant, right for Munster, grubbering through for Hudson Young. Oh, great pickup from Hudson Young, sliding in and picking the ball up off the deck. That was an excellent pickup from Hudson Young under pressure from Mikey Lewis coming across at fullback, and Hudson Young will score his second try of the series after his first Australian try at Everton. They lead 10-0 after 25.
And again, it was in the southwestern end of the ground like it was last week at Everton. A good little kick in behind them, and Hudson Young, he's a try sneak. He can score them, but they kept the attack on. Good kick, Munster in behind, and Hudson Young, he picked his pocket. That was really good work. Really, really good work. Great hands.
Yeah, great kick there from Cam Munster's late on the two tries now. The first with a beautiful cut-out pass to Josh Adokar. This time, a nice little deft kick, and Hudson Young on the spot to score a try. But Harry Grant looks so dangerous out of dummy half at the moment.
He does indeed. You know that there's 7 players. The last time they played at Headingley, it was in a World Cup match against Fiji. 7 players, including those players, Crichton, Grant, Adokar, Munster, Cotter, Carrigan and Fasu Malawi, all there last time. Yep. So that's quite a lot in 4 years ago.
42 points to 8 victory. It was the game that a lot of those players actually made their debut, a real changing of the guard for that 2022 World Cup. Of course, obviously, International Rugby League didn't get too much action during the COVID years. So, that was the last trip to Headingley. Australia hasn't lost at Headingley, incidentally, since 1970. Going back, how far ago was that, Gibbsy? A long way. 55 years. Yeah.
5 years.
So Cleary to make it 2 from 2. That was a really brave effort from Hudson Young as well, because Lewis was coming across ready to boot the ball into touch, and Hudson Young got down low like a goalkeeper almost and smothered it, caught it and scored the try, and Cleary adds the extras. Australia leads 12 points to 0 over England after 27 minutes. A wry smile for Hudson Young, who's now got tries in back-to-back internationals. 0, 4, 6, 7, 9, 2, 0, 2, thanks to Tess, Sess and Baby Beck, listening in up at Bethania Heights in Queensland. Hopefully I'm putting Baby Beck to sleep again this week, as I told the last 2 weeks.
Weekend?
I know. Well, hopefully they're recording it. They can just, if Baby Beck wakes in the middle of having
a party.
Maybe you can just ring him, Glenn.
Yeah. I shan't be doing that at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking forward to having Saturday nights in bed after these last 3 weeks. As Lindsay Collins has the ball 15 away from the line. It's been a long 3 weeks, but it's been a lot of fun with you two in the middle of the night doing the Ashes. Angus Crichton has the ball 20 away in centre field. Plays it for Harry Grant. Right-hand side. Through the hands of Cleary. Goes backwards from Cleary again. Misses his mark. Staggs has to go back and collect it. Losing a bit of momentum there, but he turns around and takes it up over the 20-metre line. They'll go to the left-hand side, Isaiah Yeo. And he takes it up over the 30. Centre field he goes. Knowles making the tackle after losing the ball in that set that ended up leading to the Australian try. Now Cleary almost gets a line break, but Knowles hangs on to him, and he'll take the tackle just short of halfway. Right-hand side for Walsh to kick for himself over the top, and now once again Johnson comes across and smothers that one just inside the western touchline, and 25 away. I make it 25 away from England's line, as now Farnworth has met in a strong tackle, 27 away. So England once again camped in their own half here. They lead 12 points to 0 Australia. Right hand side, here is Johnson coming in off his wing to take the run. They can't find any metres here. He's still only 29 away from his line. Play 3. Can McMeekin turn it into attack? He's centre field, about 14 away from the line. We've just seen shots of AJ Brimson with that right shoulder heavily iced. He's in his civvies, so there'll be no part to play for the rest of this test match, as we probably already knew for AJ Brimson, sadly, with that right shoulder injury just 10 minutes into the game. It's the final play. England pass out of dummy half goes to nobody, so they have to go all the way back to Mikey Lewis. Kicks pretty much on the back foot. It's a high bomb. It's taken by Nwanganidwaze, and he returns it up over the 20-metre line with Australia leading just over 10 minutes to go in the first half, 12 points to 0.
Well, the problem here for England will be if they can't score next, and they don't really look like scoring. They've scored the one dummy half try to Darryl Clark in the whole series. So if Australia scores the next one, look out, they could be in big trouble. They might throw in the towel.
Well, they make more good meters here, the Australians, and they'll play the ball through Shibasaki, 8 short of the halfway line. They go right for Munster and Yo dummies back towards the inside, up to halfway. Play 4, getting up slowly to play the ball in centre field for Grant. Once again, shapes right, goes left. Munster, short ball, left-hand side. Crichton goes out the back. Might have been touched by an England player, but it's backwards anyway. Josh Adokar picks it up the last, says Grant Atkins, so no touch. Just a messy release. Now Cleary will go to the skies just inside halfway. You heard Grant Atkins there say he's gone through the legs, and there'll be a penalty for Australia 15 metres away from England's line. Cleary was taken in the air as he got the kick away, and this is another good opportunity for Australia.
Yeah, that could have been a dangerous one. That was Tom Burgess, Joe Burgess, should I say.
There's a lot of them.
Tom Johnston is the other winger. But that could have been really, really nasty.
Yeah, as Nathan, his right leg, the ball's left his foot, and then Burgess comes through and collects it, and that's where it can get very, very dangerous. There's no protection there for Nathan at all, but he's up, he's going to tap the ball, which is obviously a great sign, but yeah, luckily to avoid serious injury there.
Yeah, Grant Atkins picked it up straight away as well, didn't he? So, Joe Burgess, no relation to all the other Burgesses, by the way. Just a popular English name as Australia play it.
Joe or Burgess?
Both. Right-hand side. Collins played it. Now they go right through Young. Young has the ball 6 metres away from the goal line. Slowly getting up and playing the ball. Grant looking to create something out of dummy half again. It's a long pass to Cleary at first receiver. Dummies goes himself. Thought about passing to Crichton. Takes the tackle 4 away from the line. England hanging on here. Grant out of dummy half. A few steps left. Munster, Shibasaki. 3 players there to wrap Shibasaki up. 4 away from the goal line. Play 4 for Australia. England have to try to hang on here. Grant's waiting for it at dummy half. 10 in from the eastern touchline. So he goes open side right. Munster to Cleary. They've got numbers on the right-hand side, do they? Walsh gets it away to Nwanganidwaze, who, unlike Marky Mark, can't hold on to the ball close to the touchline there. We've see him score some miraculous tries there, but on this occasion it was just out in front of him a little bit. He knocks the ball on, and England once again a sigh of relief. He did have to reach for that. 7.5, make it 8.5 to go first half. Australia 12, England 0. Jonty.
Yeah, he was going a little bit lateral in Rhys Walsh. He gave the pass. It was takeable, there's no doubt about it. But if he wanted to score, he had to stretch and try and score. But I thought he might have straightened things up a little bit more there, Rhys Walsh, and given Marky Mark a better opportunity.
So Harry Newman for England, 18 away from his own goal line. Hasn't touched the ball too much as Newman. They come to the right-hand side now. We'll make it left, the right-hand side for Australia's defence is what I was obviously trying to say. And Morgan Smithies will play the ball 25 away from his own goal line. They come to the right now, and Alex Walmsley is on the park for a strong carry, met by Angus Crichton. Centre field, 12 short of halfway. Lytton scoots out of dummy half, gets straight through Jez Lytton. He's over the 40. He hasn't got support. He gets past Walsh, and they come across. He grubbers through. George Williams is leading the race, and George Williams will score the try for England, but put it down to Jez Lytton. His wonderful work out of dummy half, and George Williams will score a try for England. 7.5 to go in the first half, and they might be back in this one. Australia 12, England 4 with a kick to come. What about the work out of dummy half from Jez Lytton?
Yeah, very good work there by Jez Lytton. He was dashing, wasn't he? That was a beautiful run. He also completely bamboozled Rhys Walsh. Rhys Walsh didn't know what he was going to do. Then he put the kick in, and George Williams, he's been retained as captain, and he has put up a wholehearted effort, but a really good work. A bad miss by Reece Walsh. He fell for the dummy, and he led the charge. They came across. Harry Grant was there, Addo-Carr was there, but George Williams had the desire, and that all came about after the mark. They error down the other end of the field. They needed that 12-4 kick to come. That's a whole lot better than 18-0. They would have been in trouble.
Yeah, it's Lindsay Collins who overshoots a marker, which allows Lytton to get through. He opens the gap up, and Reece Walsh has been outstanding in the first 2 games of the series defensively. He's diffused multiple opportunities for England. This time, he just couldn't do it. But, yeah, England are definitely back with Gibbsy's boy George Williams scoring a try.
Good work. Georgie boy has been playing very well. He's really defended well. He's been everywhere trying to inspire his troops. And that was a great chase there. Good backing up. But Jez Lytton, didn't he show some dash?
And it was a great, shout out to Katoni Staggs, who came across in cover as well after Reece Walsh was beaten, because if Katoni Staggs didn't come across, then Jez Lytton doesn't need to put that grubber through. He did really well to try to make something of it. But a really good kick through from Lytton, and a great try for George Williams, and Smith adds the extras. So it is Australia 12, England 6 with 6 minutes to go in the second half. George Williams 8 in the first half. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. George Williams now has 8 tries in 17 visits to Headingley. He scored 3 in 3 in that 2024 series against France and Samoa as well. So recent try scoring record is pretty good for England.
That was a good kick. Really good kick there, but good break, obviously, but good kick because those in-goal areas are so short.
Yeah, the weight on it was perfect because he's on the run at full speed as well. That was an excellent kick. They've got the massive faces of George Williams in the crowd as well, Gibbsy. You'll be getting on the English Rugby League website.
Looks a little bit like.
Yeah.
Craig Gower.
George Williams.
A fair Craig Gower.
I was just going to say he's got blonde hair, but...
Yes, a fair one.
No.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Not even close.
It'd be fun.
What are you talking about?
I've had a flashback and it was Craig Gower.
Okay. Well, maybe just because of the flat top. He's got maybe a similar hairstyle.
No. Similar position too.
Yeah, that's the only...
Craig Gower's a hooker.
Well, he played half.
A little bit.
Halfback. He made his
half. He won a comp in the half.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, England 6 metres short of the halfway line. Left-hand side they go with... Smith getting it back on the inside for Callum Watkins, and Watkins is held up in the tackle, 10 inside Australia's territory. Final play. Now they'll go left for Smith, kicking down that short side, but back into the middle, and Reece Walsh, you can hear the fans willing him to drop it, but he's not going to on this occasion. Walsh takes it comfortably, and then he returns it up over the 10 in centre field, with Australia leading 12 points to 6. 4.5 to go in the first half. Nawaqanita will take it up over the 20 in centre field. Lytton doing the defending, and also Morgan Smithies coming over the top as Munster out of dummy half goes one off the ruck right-hand side for Katoni Staggs. Gets the offload away for Cleary backing up and changes direction left-hand side for Josh Addo-Carr. Josh Addo-Carr will take the tackle about 35 away from his line in centre field. And now Reuben Cotter takes it, tries towards the halfway, but he doesn't quite make it all the way to halfway. He's about 3 short. Good strong run though. Grant out of dummy half. Left-hand side Cleary. Short ball was forward to Crichton. The officials are allowing it to continue at the moment. Cleary ends up with it. The fans aren't happy, and I reckon they've got a case. Hudson Young passes off the ground. Flick pass for Reuben Cotter. And Reuben Cotter takes the tackle 10 inside England's territory. That was fine passing off the ground, by the way, because his arm carrying the ball hadn't touched the deck. He was just down on all fours as Staggs puts the high kick up in. Lewis can't control it. Lindsay Collins is there. He might have got the ball down just before the dead ball line, but I reckon these shorting goals might have got the better of Lindsay Collins, but it's a bad miss from Mikey Lewis, and it's really good work from Lindsay Collins, even if he doesn't get the ball down. Australia 12, England 6, 3.5 to go first half.
Yeah, well, this will be a close thing because that dead ball line, you'd be stunned how many tries are scored inside that dead ball line when it looks like they're going over the top. But it was a big kick from Katoni Staggs infield. Mikey Lewis has made a meal of it. But
he might be slightly offside as well.
It's going to be hard to...
Yeah.
I think it's close enough.
Close. It's parallax error there.
I think Grant Atkins actually said Mikey Lewis knocks the ball on originally.
So it could be an Australia ball anyway.
We've got a live decision that the player is onside, so we can pause the ball in and around on the foot there.
So it's play on. Kick in field by Katoni Staggs.
So keep going through. A live decision is onside from the kick chase.
They're not going to overturn it.
No, I reckon he's slightly off, but almost impossible.
Yeah.
So
just tighter on that.
He might get this down.
Nah, I think the ball finishes up over the line.
He does that amazingly.
Doesn't matter. If he doesn't score, he'll be so close. He'll be closer than you think. Micah Lewis, though, makes an absolute meal of it. He loses it.
Yeah, I don't know how Grant Atkins can say that's a knock on. It's gone back.
That's definitely gone back.
Yeah, it's definitely touched, but...
Watch this. He'll go so close here. It's ridiculous.
Great take from Lindsay Collins.
He'll get it down.
Falling towards the ground.
He would have in Australia, because the goal's another...
He'll get it down.
Metre and a half. Nah, he did get it down on the dead ball line.
You're right, Jonty, though. That was closer than I thought, because the ball ends up past the line.
Yeah.
But he gets it on the line.
That's super close. He's done so well, Lindsay Collins. So it's going to be a 20-metre restart because Lindsay, it's gone backwards off Mikey Lewis, and then Lindsay Collins places the ball on the dead ball line, so a 20-metre restart. But what about the effort from Lindsay Collins regardless?
It was a great effort, great chase there, but Mikey Lewis, you can see that, when did you say, 3 years ago he played fullback? That's the reason why. He's not very good under the bombs. He's not tall either, which makes it difficult.
Yeah, 2023. So a long time between drinks. He's only played 9 games at fullback as well. Kai Pearce-Paul has the ball right-hand side for England. There's 3 minutes to go in the first half. Australia lead 12 points to 6. Tries to Josh Adokar and Hudson Young. George Williams with a try for England. Alex Wormsley has the ball just inside Australia's territory. Litton out of dummy half comes left. They go through their hands. It ends up with Callum Watkins, who loses it straight off the chest. And Ruben Cotter will pick it up for Australia, who can come away from their own end 33 away in centre field. Michael Carrianas, John Gibbs and Glenn Lauder on ABC Sports coverage of the Ashes, wherever you are listening through ABC Sport Digital and, of course, the ABC Sport Extra button on the Listen app. It is great to have your company here in Australia and right around the world as well. A beautiful afternoon at Headingley, a full house and a tight Ashes battle as Australia looks to wrap up the series 3-0 as they did 22 years ago in 2003. They had the ball through Isaiah Yeo just over halfway. Strong carry from the captain. He's brought to ground 8 metres inside England's territory on play 3. Left-hand side, Grant's at dummy half. He goes to Munster, gets it away to Walsh. Reece Walsh loses the ball uncharacteristically. Picked up by England. Newman will flick it out the back. Now they change direction and go left. Australia a little bit scrambly in defence, but Johnson didn't really know where he was going to go then. And Tom Johnson will pick the ball up for England, play 0. Australia 12, England 6, a minute and a half to go first half, Gibbsy.
Well, these drop balls and, some errant passes and missed tackle. That hasn't been the Reece Walsh we've seen over the last couple of months.
They are trying to play quite expansively, aren't they, Australia? And they're taking maybe a few more risks than they would have done in the first 2 test matches with the series wrapped up. Williams has the ball on the left-hand side. That's a strong tackle as well, with Cleary coming over the top as Watkins goes into dummy half. Litton's at a wide first receiver. Right-hand side for Smith. Changing direction for Kai Pearce-Paul. And Pearce-Paul will take the tackle 25 away from Australia's goal line with just over a minute to go in the first half. Litton scoots out of dummy half. He's had a decent game in this third test as Jez Litton out of dummy half. Gets the ball away and wrapped up in the tackle is Alex Wormsley, 12 away from the line. Final play for England, right-hand side for Smith. Smith will kick towards the in-goal. Adokar is going up, loses it backwards, I fear, and Walsh will dive on it, and Grant Atkins agrees. Backwards off Josh Adokar, dived on by Walsh. Adokar at dummy half, and he's pushed backwards as well. They're only 3 metres away from their own goal line. England trying to get the ball back and wrestle it here and maybe get something with 40 seconds to go, Gibbsy.
Well, I don't think they're going to get anything, but the thing is they've been re-energised after that try by George Williams, so it's game on. 12-6 at half time it'll be, and that's close enough for England to get back into it in the second half.
Yeah, Australia happy with tight, close carries here to end this half and end this set. One off the ruck stuff. Grant now scooting out of dummy half. Gets it away to Munster. That is a forward pass. He was trying to get it to Shibasaki. Left it. Munster was in front of him. There's 10 seconds left in this half. England are going to try to pack this scrum quickly. And the referee is going to go up. No, he's just going to call timeout so they can get it packed. But Munster almost was in a penalty position there for being in front of Harry Grant.
Yeah, well, you don't see those given anymore, so, but, technically, yes. I think why he blew time off there was because Australia was just trying to spoil.
Well, I think England went over and packed the scrum really quickly.
One play here.
Yeah. What does England come up with? They are 25 metres away from Australia's line. The scrum is in centre field. They win it and come left. Smith to Herbie Farnworth, and Herbie Farnworth is going to take the tackle of 3 Australian players. It's a pretty poor end to that half. And he's going to say there's a penalty. There were hands in there as Farnworth was trying to play the ball. He wasn't going to be able to play the ball anyway because it was half-time. But Isaiah Yeo is going to challenge this. And he's probably going to challenge A, the strip, but B, also whether it had been half-time. And the incident occurred after the siren.
Yeah, it's a strip. He's got his hands on the ball, Hudson Young.
I heard the siren go.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't matter about the siren because it's when the ref stops play.
Yeah, obviously the referee is the sole adjudicator of time. The timekeeper is Tony Randerson.
Challenging the on-field ruling of the ball steal, so stay in this, please.
Blow the siren.
The ball is locked up, which he's entitled to do at this point.
It's
a clear strip. Back in the same angle, please.
And over there, under their rules,
one defender in the tackle, so keep going through.
He strips it.
It's a clear strip.
And at that point, there's a flick of the wrist which constitutes a ball steal. The challenge is unsuccessful.
That's a ridiculous challenge because under the rules in England, or the international rules, you have to specifically say what you are challenging.
Yeah.
You can't say,
challenge and hope for the best.
They'll get the siren here. No, that's not the issue there. The issue was whether it's a strip. It was a strip, so they'll take the 2 points. So it's right in front, so it'll be 12-8 at half-time when the kick is when the penalty's taken.
So in the NRL, they would have looked at everything there, and Tony Randerson's siren would have come
It wouldn't have mattered because the ref hadn't stopped play. You can hear the siren go, right?
Yeah.
But until the referee calls half done.
Yeah. The play's still live.
The play's still live.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, I agree with you, that was just, a garden variety strip. So what?
It was a penalty.
What were they doing? Stripping? What were they doing? Challenging for?
Yeah. Well, they've lost their challenge as well. So 12 points to 8, you'd have to think, as Smith moves in pretty much in front of the uprights and makes no mistake. So they will go into half-time, down 12 points to 8 England. A good end to that half as well for the home side. That try to George Williams, bringing it back from 12 points to 0 down after Josh Adokar scored early on for Australia inside 5 minutes. And then Hudson Young 25 minutes in, giving Australia a 12 points to 0 lead. They have been expansive in this first half, Australia. A little bit sloppy as well, but John Gibbs still leading at half-time.
Yeah, that was a good bounce back there by England because down 12-0, they could have easily given away another try, 18-0. It would have been a bridge too far, but there was a great break by Jez Litton after the play was overread by Lindsay Collins, as MC told us, and he put in the kick and a good chase by George Williams. So that was a good try. They really needed that try.
We're just getting some audio in there from the host broadcast. We don't need to worry about that. But yeah, MC, it does give them some hope. But Australia is still looking reasonably comfortable.
Yeah, but Australia's looked okay again. Like their handling's let them down at times. I don't think Nathan Clear or Reece Walsh have been great today. Harry Grant and Cam Munster have laid everything in terms of Australia's attack. Defensively, England have been pretty good. They've had a couple of handling areas which has cost them, but I think defensively they've been much better and they look much more dangerous in good ball than what they've had in the previous 2 tests. Look, I think Australia will still win, but it's definitely game on in the second half.
At least they got a task in the second half. I thought Harry Grant and Cameron Munster again, excellent.
Easily the best 2 players of the park.
Yeah, Munster's been outstanding. Really similar stats, 50-50 possession. England completing at 80%, 17 of 21 sets. Australia 70%, 14 of 20, which goes to those handling errors. 697 metres from 95 runs for England, 706 metres from 85 runs for Australia. So really similar there. There's only 8 metres different in terms of post-contact. 3 line breaks to 2 in favour of Australia. 19 tackle breaks to 10. So England would be looking to shut that stat down a little bit in the second half. England 6 offloads to 3. So you look at that defence. England making 176, missing those 19 at 87%, and Australia making 164, missing 10 at 90%, Gibbsy.
And you would think that Cameron Munster would be in front in the inaugural Fulton Really Award for the Player of the Series.
Yeah, I would suggest. I was thinking that when he put that little kick in behind. He's just about close to the Player of the Series. 7 errors to 5, Australia trailing there, and England leading the penalty count 3-2 at half-time. Josh Adokar's try in the 4th minute, Hudson Young in the 25th, Nathan Cleary 2 from 2 for England. George Williams scoring the try, Harry Smith kicking the conversion, and then a penalty goal right on the stroke of half-time. It is Australia 12, England 8. Don't go anywhere. Second half on the other side of ABC News.
ABC News with Tim Wooten. A former Labor minister says New South Wales Senator Graham Richo Richardson's legacy lies in his dedication to serving his party and the nation. The former politician has died at the age of 76. He was a senator for New South Wales for 11 years and served as a cabinet minister in both the Hawke and Keating governments. Former Labor minister Chris Schott says Richardson wasn't just a numbers man, he took his work seriously.
We're in Parliament and it was nearly midnight and I and some other people had some worries about some aspect of policy. And he came down to us at midnight exhausted, as were we probably, and took us through the particular elements of our complaint and satisfied us. And I thought, there's a man who pours his heart and soul into the job.
Health authorities have issued a nationwide recall of various alfalfa sprouts due to a salmonella outbreak. Bronte Skinner has more.
At least 44 people across Australia have fallen ill so far as a result of the outbreak. The affected sprouts produced by Perilla Fresh were sold in major supermarkets and independent grocers in all states and territories except Western Australia and Tasmania. Perilla Fresh says the contaminated products all have use-by dates up to and including November 20. Food Standards Australia is urging consumers not to eat the products and to seek medical advice if they're concerned about their health. Queensland Health recommends seeing a doctor if symptoms last longer than a few days, if diarrhoea is severe or if someone is at high risk of complications.
South Africa's Foreign Ministry says it's regrettable that US President Donald Trump has chosen not to send any government representative to the upcoming G20 summit in Johannesburg. Mr. Trump said he would skip the event and repeatedly widely debunked claims that white farmers are being mistreated in the region. The BBC's Richard Kagoye has more.
President Trump is one of the world's most influential political actors. And so when he makes these comments, and especially in a highly politicized manner, it does affect South Africa's reputation. And so that's why President Cyril Ramaphosa has been really keen on how to, counter this narrative diplomatically and seeing how they can be able to correct this misconception or perceptions that have been pushed forward by, President Trump's claims of a white genocide in South Africa.
Republicans in the US Senate have rejected a Democrat offer to reopen the government. Senate Democrats have offered to pass a bill to fund the government in exchange for a vote on extending health care subsidies. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune called it a non-starter, saying he'll only negotiate on health care once the government reopens. Republican Congressman Don Bacon, who's not seeking re-election, says he's disappointed with the way his party has handled the issue.
Well, it's disgusting. It's embarrassing that the United States government is so dysfunctional that this is happening. And obviously, the Democrats in the Senate have filibustered the funding of all these programs because they want concessions. Concessions, by the way, that many Republicans are willing to work with them on.
Former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says world leaders need to look past politics and face the reality of climate change. Miss Ardern, who's acting as a special envoy for Oceania at the COP30 climate summit in Brazil, says inaction risks the survival of entire Pacific nations. US President Donald Trump, who calls climate change a hoax, has boycotted the summit. Miss Ardern says preventing the worst impacts of climate change should be an easy decision.
I think we've got to ask ourselves how we came to the point where something that is about the preservation of our planet for the next generation, how did that end up becoming so political? Because this really should in many ways be a very straightforward question.
Australian men's T20 cricket captain Mitch Marsh says his team is in a good place despite falling to a 2-1 series defeat to India. The fifth and final match of the series was rained out at the Gabba after just 4.5 overs had been bowled. Marsh says the series was a positive step forward towards February's T20 World Cup.
A lot of learnings to take forward, a lot of positives. I think the adaptability and the flexibility of our group and the squad that we're trying to build in a World Cup year has been amazing. The guys that have come in have done really well, played their roles, and that's what we can ask for.
West Coast AFLW coach Daisy Pearce says she hopes the side can learn from its 41-point elimination final loss to Carlton. In wet conditions at Princess Park, the youthful Eagles conceded 6 third-quarter goals after an even first half. Pearce says her team did not match Carlton's intensity after the main break.
Obviously, that third quarter was a major gap in the game. I just thought they lifted their physicality and intensity, and for a 15-minute period or so, we just get knocked off the ball a bit too easily, and that's finals footy, and it will be a great lesson for us moving forward.
You're up to date with the latest in ABC News.
The summer of cricket just got hotter. ABC Cricket magazine is out now. Full season preview, all the stats, profiles, scorecards and more in your essential season guide. Out now at newsagents and abcmagazines.com.au.
The 2025 Ashes Series, England versus Australia.
Grant's at dummy half left for Cleary, gets it away to Munster. Ball over the top for Josh Adokar, scores the try. Well, the line was wide open for the Fox, who hasn't had to do much in the first couple of test matches, but he strolls over and scores his 14th test try. Australia lead 4-0, just over 5 minutes gone. Right in front of the sticks at the southern end at Headingley. Plays the ball for Grant. Right for Munster. Grubbering through for Hudson Young. Oh, great pickup from Hudson Young. Sliding in and picking the ball up off the deck. That was an excellent pickup from Hudson Young under pressure from Mikey Lewis coming across at fullback, and Hudson Young will score his second try of the series after his first Australian try at Everton. They lead 10-0 after 25. Centre field, 12 short of halfway. Litton scoots out of dummy half, gets straight through Jez Litton. He's over the 40. He hasn't got support. He gets past Walsh, but they come across. He rubbers through. George Williams is leading the race, and George Williams will score the try for England. But put it down to Jez Litton, his wonderful work out of dummy half, and George Williams will score a try for England. 7.5 to go in the first half, and they might be back in this one. Australia 12, England 4 with a kick to come.
The 2025 Ashes Series, England versus Australia.
Yeah, the game very much on the line at half-time at Headingley. Australia leading 12 points to 8 over England. Great to have your company with Michael Carianis, Glenn Lauder and John Gibbs. As Gibbsy has got his snake out, the green snake. We're trying to keep...
It's a little bit of blood sugar there, just a little bit of a lift.
We're trying to get a lot of sugar into us at 2 o'clock in the morning. 0467 920 222. Jake from Townsville says at least you get the rest of the day off. John D and MC still have to back up for the Pacific Championship final. That is true. Andrew Moore is back at the ground this week, which is wonderful. And it is...
I'll be going home first.
It is incredible for me as well, because it means that I was on the backup originally, but thankfully Andrew is back on deck. He's had a couple of wonderful weeks.
It'll be great to work with Andrew today.
Yeah.
It'll be fantastic. So
I just don't want to annoy him a little bit.
Well, you might be just a little bit flattened by tonight.
No, obviously.
Yeah, he'll be ready to annoy him.
Okay.
You've had a while to prepare. In fact, 0467 920 222. Robert from Palmwoods says, great calling. I was thinking about going to bed, but not now. Giggles is a bit quiet. We love you, Test football. So even the listeners have noticed that MC's maybe just keeping your powder dry, are you, for this afternoon?
No, I think for a big second half tonight. Now.
I'm looking forward to the 10 minutes post-game.
Mr. Brightside's on.
Yeah, the kids. Good to hear them. Yeah,
Mr.
They're trying to get them for Vegas.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
He didn't win today, the big race.
Remember the AFL Grand Final when you would have watched this for sure.
Definitely.
You love your AFL when, was it Nick Rewalt came out and sung with them? That was sensational.
Who would you rather, the Eagles, Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block, these guys, or Daft Punk amongst the other one?
Oh, Killers, for sure. Killers. Daft Punk are good. I don't mind Daft Punk.
I'd rather see the Killers.
Not the Eagles, John Jim?
No, well, no. I'd rather see the Killers.
I'd rather Backstreet Boys.
Oh, wow.
What about the music?
There's drama
They're good-looking lads.
There's drama in Upper Bethania Heights in Queensland. Baby Peck has thrown her toys out of the cot.
Drama.
So the second half.
After George Williams scored.
No, I think when the news was on, I think she's not happy. She said she's wondering where we've gone. So We are back. Hopefully our soothing tones will help Baby Beck get back to sleep. Sess and Tess, thanks for your text message, 0467 920 222. Now, Addo Carr and Hudson Young scored in the first 25 minutes. George Williams scored 8 minutes before half-time. John Gibbs, how do you see this second half playing out? Both of the first Test matches, or certainly the whole of the second Test, was a tight affair, but certainly in that first Test, it sort of started to blow out in the second half. What do you see happening here with 40 minutes to go?
I think Australia's going to have to reassess how things are going, because they were a little bit laissez-faire. They were throwing the ball about, they were having fun. I think now that England has got to within 4 points at half-time, that's a bit of a concern for them, because England, if they could have scored again, Australia, I think it would have been possibly a landslide in the second half. But England, they are desperate, and you hear Sean Wayne speak. He's quite a passionate sort of bloke. He gets the players. He loves that motivation. They just don't have the finesse and the expertise in attack, but they'll give their all to try and win a Test match against Australia. There's no doubt about that. So Australia's going to have to, I think, tighten up a little bit in the second half to keep England at bay.
MC, what do you think will happen in this? Get the snakes away, and you're back on the radio.
I think it's going to be close. I think Australia have just been a little bit loose with the footy. And defensively, they haven't been as good as they were in the opening game. So you throw that in, and England again have shown up. Like they're much better than what they produced in the first game. That first game was easily their worst performance. They were better in game 2, and I feel like they're better in game 3 again. So, and as we said in pre-game, I don't think they were that far away from Australia. Australia just owned the big moments a couple of more times.
They have looked slightly better in attack as well, which is probably the biggest change. I mean,
and Australia hasn't looked as good defensively.
Yeah. So can England split Australia's line again in this second half? Jez Litton, the hooker, has had a really good game for England, scooting out of dummy half. And speaking of hookers, Harry Grant has had an outstanding game as well for Australia. If we have a look at some of those stats in the first half, in terms of tackles, Morgan Knowles made 24 for England. And in terms of run meters, Jez Litton's made 60. Jez Litton is actually leading the run meters. Alex Wormsley, I beg your pardon, 68. But Jez Litton with 62. Of course, that runaway try for George Williams was a big part of that. But he's got a line break. That was the line break, of course, as well. He's run for 4 dummy half runs as well. So he's looked lively out of dummy half. And then when you look at the Australians, in terms of run meters, Harry Grant has run 72. Of course, a lot of work out of dummy half as well. 6 dummy half runs, and he has made 23 tackles as well. Isaiah Yeo has made 21. So they are some of the stats individually from that opening half at Headingley, which is still bathed in late afternoon sunshine as the sun sets on a late autumn afternoon. It's been a huge crowd, really loud as well, getting behind their team. The England side trying to avoid an Ashes series whitewash as occurred in 2003. So Australia will get us underway in this second half, kicking towards the northern end of Headingley Stadium, and it's Alex Wormsley with the first carry of the second half for England. He's brought to ground 20 away from his own line, and then Callum Watkins takes it up over to 20, 27 away and 20 in from the eastern touchline. A lot of the corporates slow to get back to their seats after the half-time fare, as you can imagine, as Knowles plays the ball 15 short of the halfway line. One off the ruck, right-hand side for Morgan Smithies. Smithies is 10 away from the halfway line. Put on his back, so he slowly gets up and plays the ball after the tackle of Cotter. Left-hand side for Wormsley, his second touch of this first set of the second half. It's the final play for England. Right on halfway, they go to the left, and Harry Smith will kick down that short left-hand side. And Iwanganitawaze is waiting for it, takes it comfortably 12 away from his own line, and then runs back into the chase of Knowles and a couple of others. Litton as well, 15 away in centre field. A minute gone in the second half as Iwanganitawaze gets up and plays the ball. Walsh is waiting at first receiver, gets up towards the 20-metre line, but England doing some good defending as well. And Walsh will get up and play the ball for Harry Grant, who comes left out of dummy half for Josh Addo-Carr. Josh Addo-Carr is up towards the 30-metre line for Australia. as he gets up and plays it after scoring that opening try all the way back in the 4th minute. Angus Crichton is held up in the tackle and will be not put to ground. No, I thought they were going to put him on his back, but he stays up and plays the ball 11 short of halfway. Now, Isaiah Yeo, final play. That was strong collision from Isaiah Yeo and Morgan Smithies, who just puts the forearm over Isaiah Yeo's face as he gets up to play the ball. And now Nathan Cleary on the final play will kick from just inside his own half, taken by Mikey Lewis on his own 10-metre line, returns it to the 20. Australia 12, England 8, 2 minutes gone, second half.
Good solid start to the English side in the second half, and there's been, I think he's copped an elbow or something right in the forehead there, Morgan Smith. He's certainly got a cut there, but this has been a good start to England. Their opening attacking set was good, and their defensive work has been good. Early stages, obviously.
Grant Atkins just resetting his 10 metres there. It was pretty ugly as England were trying to play the ball. And now they have the ball through Burgess, 24 away from his own goal line. Left-hand side, Litton out of dummy half for Farnworth. Toby Farnworth just over the 30. You can hear Grant Atkins selling Tony Staggs to get away. He does so, and England play the ball and then come back right for George Williams, 10 short of the halfway line. You can hear the musicians in the crowd as well, the England fans, the football style chanting behind the goals, and now the deep kick from Smith just inside his own 40, taken on the 10-metre line by Nwanganita-Waze, who returns it back up to the 20, almost to the 20, because he's pushed on his back in a strong tackle. 16 away, 3 gone in the second half. Australia leading England, MC, 12 points to 8.
Yeah, Nwanganita-Waze has come out with a bandage on his left knee. It's not strapping, I think it's actually a bandage. They must have picked up a cut late in that first half.
He did have his knee even more heavily strapped in the second test as well, so I'm just wondering whether, if there is an injury there, if it's not a cut, maybe it's improved over the week as well. Reece Walsh has the ball for Australia, 10 short of halfway. Scooting out of dummy half is Harry Grant, gets it away to Crichton. Dummies, goes himself over halfway, takes a few with him as well, gives to Smith a bit of a don't argue, but Smith goes again and takes the tackle. Final play for Australia, back on the inside, Walsh gets it away to Munster. Munster will kick. Josh Adokar on the chest, he's got one to beat, he'll do it easily. Josh Adokar scores the try. But again, Cameron Munster, wonderful kick. Grant Atkins is saying no try, and Josh Adokar is in front of the kicker. Well, it was a beautiful pinpoint kick from Cam Munster, but maybe Josh Adokar mistimed his run.
And great work out of dummy half again by Harry Grant. It was brilliant work he started. So we'll see here. Munster, good work.
Offside from the kick, so pause the ball on the foot, please. So we've got offside
You can't see.
To the right.
So this is going to be a penalty.
Called offside. He's off screen. Have we got anything else on that, please?
If they don't have a different angle, this will be taken off the Aussies.
Yep, it'll be on-field decision. Grant Atkins said no try.
And look, Adokar's fast. I can't. I reckon on balance there, if they haven't got another angle, they'll take this off him. But I reckon he'll be onside.
Yeah, he's probably once he comes into shot, he's probably 5 metres in front. But of course, that's once he comes into shot.
No other angles, I think Brent just said.
Well, that's ridiculous.
How are there no other angles? 14 cameras there. No try. Grant Atkins on-field decision stands, and this will be an Australian giveaway. England getting another penalty.
Munster stops, beats the player as well, and then kicks. Anyway, who knows? We're never going to know. We're seriously in the dark here because the ball is kicked by Munster, and he's there quickly. There's no doubt about that. At a car, he didn't have to be in front of him if he was, but the fact that we have all of these angles, and there was 10 metres of, it was like a CCTV.
Yeah, with a blind spot.
With a crook, with a blind spot.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The touch is right there, though, so I'm going to back him in. Looking at it, I would have thought it was a try.
Anyway, it doesn't matter what we think. That's the rule.
Atkins went straight upstairs as well. So I reckon Atkins probably had a pretty good view of it on the field as Kai Pearce-Paul takes the tackle 30 away from Australia's line. 4.5 gone second half. Australia 12, England 8. Michael Carianis, John Gibson, Glenn Lauder. England attacking Australia's half here. Williams through their hands, left-hand side. Mikey Lewis, dummies, goes himself. He's 22 away. 10 in from the eastern touchline. Farnworth wants Australia to get off quicker. He's waiting for it at dummy half. Finally, they do get off the tackle player. Final play. Williams will kick towards Shibasaki's side, and Shibasaki takes the catch well, about 1.5 metres away from the goal line. So Australia will have a long way to go here. But Walsh might get away from the line. He had Addo-Carr, but he was thinking possibly the touchline was a little too close. I reckon if he threw a pass a little earlier there, Addo-Carr could have been away. But Walsh took the tackle. Now they go back on the inside for Munster. And Munster's 21 away from Australia's line and 20 in from the Western touchline. Gets up, plays the ball. Harry Grant, one off the ruck for Lindsay. Collins loses the ball now, and this is an opportunity for England. So another error for Australia. It was error-riddled in the first half, and Australia losing the ball, 28 away from their own goal line. 5.5 gone second half. Even if they wanted to, they wouldn't be able to challenge it if there was a hand there releasing the ball, because they gave up that challenge in the first half. 45 or 5.5 gone second half. Australia 12, England 8.
Yeah, there were some hands in there, but again, a loose carry. And as you say, if you forfeit your captain's challenge, they can take chances. They can be a bit scrappy and they can get their hands on the ball because you can't challenge. So here's a great opportunity again for England.
So they win the scrum. 27 away from Australia's line. Litton goes right, but then comes back left. And now gets it away to Farnworth. Offload for Farnworth on the first play. Cotter might have got a hand to it.
Knock on Cotter.
It's knocked on by Reuben Cotter. They get away with this one, England.
Very lucky there, England.
Really, why are you throwing that offload on play one, attacking Australia's line? They get the scrum feed, 25 away at 12-8, 6.5 gone.
Understand what you're saying, Glenn, but they've got to take some chances. They need that second phase play.
It's 12-8. You're on the back. That was that not. I understand Gibbsy, but not like that. He was getting forced back. He was play one. Take the tackle and play the ball.
Yeah. As Farnworth gets it again, another opportunity here to take the tackle and play the ball. He does do that. 21 away and 12 in from the eastern touchline. You guys have got a long day together.
Are we hanging? Are we having breakfast afterwards, Lindsay?
At my place.
Okay.
Mikolaj Oledzki is on the field. He'll play the ball 13 away from the line. Right-hand side they come. Williams out the back. They might have numbers here, but it's a poor pass from Williams. Josh Addo-Carr tries to shepherd it over the touchline. Then Burgess comes across and tries to keep it in, but it goes over the touchline. And Josh Addo-Carr celebrates. It's an Australian ball, 20 away from their own goal line. Well, they took a risk there, England. It didn't pay off. It was a poor pass. Well, it wasn't a bad pass, but Burgess overruns that for mine. 7.5 gone second half. Australia 12, England 8.
Yeah, not that good, though. It was a bit sloppy. And watch Burgess here. I reckon he hits his head on the mat.
Yeah.
Matty, it was nasty. It could have been nasty. He's okay, though.
The AstroTurf with, I assume, concrete underneath goes right up to the touchline there, doesn't it? As Australia come away from their own end. And they lose the ball now. A cutaway of Kevin Walters shakes the head. Nwanganita-Waze loses the ball. And Australia, another error. Again, it's the winger from the Roosters who's had such a good season. Just can't play the ball cleanly. And England will get it back 23 away from Australia's line. 8 gone second half, 12-8.
He's had a good season, hasn't had two good tests. Mark Nwanganita-Waze. It was pretty good in game one. Game two, he wasn't great. And today, again, he's handling. It was more decision-making in game two where he forced some passes. Today, it's his handling has just let him down.
So England scrum feed 25 away from Australia's line. Left for Farnworth again. He tries the offload, the flick pass. He gets away with this one. Litton was backing up. Now he passes to Oledzki. Oledzki is 13 away centre field. Litton dummy half, comes left. Quickly they go England. Morgan Smithies back towards the traffic of Reuben Cotter and Angus Crichton. 9 away from the line. Litton's at dummy half. Left-hand side, Williams back on the inside, Farnworth. Farnworth takes the tackle 5 away from the line. Play 3 for England. Jez Litton still not happy about the pace that Angus Crichton is getting off the tackle player there. Right-hand side, Williams first receiver back on the inside, Oledzki. Playing in front of his home fans as well, the Polish-born who moved to Leeds as a teenager. Right-hand side they come. Williams, short ball for Knowles, takes the tackle 5 away from the line with Collins coming over the top. As Litton at dummy half goes left. Williams kicking towards the in goal and going up high beautifully, taking the catch in the end for Australia on that far side. Nwanganita-Waze, well, he's come up with a few errors, but that is a really good take to keep England at bay, and it is still with 9.5 gone in the second half. Australia 12, England 8.
His aerial play has been excellent. That was a great take because he had Callum Watkins all over him as well. So good take. He'd made the error with to play the ball, which gave more pressure for the Australians and more possession for England, but they're under a bit of pressure, the Australians.
Yeah, coming away from their own end through Isaiah Yeo, and good defending again. Oledzki pushing him back along with Kai Pearce-Paul. He'll play the ball 15 away from the line. One off the right-hand side's Hudson Young. He's 25 away, gets the quick play the ball. 5 plays gone already, though. And Australia kicking from inside 30 through Reece Walsh. It's a direct kick downfield. Lewis allows it to bounce. It's an awkward bounce as well. And Lewis sees the chase on him quickly, but he gets past Collins. He can't get past Cleary, though. They do start this set 10 inside Australia's territory. And you think after he let that bounce a couple of times, Australia might have been able to wrap him up a little closer to their line, but it's play 2, and England are already 4 metres short of halfway. They'll enter Australia's territory through Herbie Farnworth. Farnworth is too short, 8 metres inside Australia's territory. He's told to get back and play the ball from Grant Atkins. Now there's time off. Harry Grant saying, well, he didn't play the ball properly, so it should be outs. But Grant Atkins says, just go back and play the ball properly, and we'll continue as they do so through Oledzki, backing into Reuben Cotter and then taking the tackle 35 away from Australia's line. Litton left out a dummy half. Lewis at first receiver. Dummies goes himself. 20 away from Australia's line, play 4. Litton waiting again at dummy half, comes right. Harry Smith will go to the skies on the right-hand side. Pearce-Paul is there, but Shibasaki is quite comfortable under the high ball, although they might push him back into the in-goal. They do. Good defending from England. They almost allowed Shibasaki to take that catch because he was only about 1.5 metres away from the goal line, and then 4 or 5 of them bundle him over the goal line. A goal line dropout with 11.5 gone second half. Australia 12, England 8.
Yeah, that was excellent work again. Good chase. And on this occasion, it was Kai Pearce-Paul, the other side of the field. It was Callum Watkins doing a really good job. And look, Shibasaki's done a good job to actually catch that and hang on to the ball because they are really putting it to Australia.
Cleary will do the old in-betweener. It's 20 metres away from the line, and England attacking again through Johnson. Tom Johnson is 11 short of the line, centre field. Hasn't been too involved today, but the England fans getting behind them now. Litton away to Oledzki. Oh, this is a lifting tackle. Hudson Young, it's above the horizontal. The referee's allowing play on. Definitely thought he went above the horizontal there. Right-hand side, they go. Smith towards the line. He's only 3 away, held up in the tackle. Litton's at dummy half. Left-hand side he shapes. Right-hand side he goes. Pearce-Paul 3 away. Goes to ground under 3 Australian defenders, including Munster. He'll play the ball for Litton again. It's play 4. Left-hand side out the back through numbers they go. Williams short ball for Farnworth. Another offload. Farnworth. Williams backing up. Maybe an obstruction. The referee playing on. Now they come right. Still Williams. Grubbering towards the in-goal. Newman. Oh, Josh Adokar does really well. He gets back across. A kind bounce for Josh Adokar. Oh, Harry Newman threw Josh Adokar to the deck. And Katoni Gemma Shibasaki wasn't happy with the treatment that Josh Adokar got from Harry Newman. So he grabbed him by the collar, threw him to ground as well, and now they're coming from everywhere as well. 13 gone second half, Australia 12, England 8.
Oh, silly play there by Shibasaki because Adokar was entitled to be thrown there, and it was a bad bounce. If Harry Newman had got any sort of decent bounce, they would have scored. But this could be Shibasaki in the bin because we saw Tassum Malawi in that second test, a similar situation, but George Williams kicks the ball through. Harry Newman just needed a bounce, and he was put in the in-goal area. It wasn't too bad. It was nothing, and then Shibasaki has come, and so did Hudson Young. Shibasaki pushed the other bloke over as well. This could be trouble. It shouldn't be, really, but it was silly play by Hudson Young and Shibasaki because Harry Newman was entitled to do what he did to Adokar.
Yeah, Hudson Young's probably the one that was probably, has run in. They've got a general warning of no more now, which is probably what Grant Atkins should have done in game 2. He's given him, the Kangaroos, and now he's trying to get to George Williams just to say, no more of that rubbish. Play on, let's go.
Well, Gibbsy, you're not wrong as Cleary drives this one towards the touchline. Really well taken by Burgess close to the touchline because Australia were looking to drive that one and get the ball back. But Shibasaki comes from behind on Harry Newman, grabs him by the collar around
pulls
the
him
back
onto
of the
that
net
concrete
and drags him to ground. There was no need for it. Anyway, they do have the ball because it was a good take from Burgess after the low stabbing goal line dropout, which was a good idea from Cleary. Didn't come to fruition. England are 5 metres away from the line. They get up and play the ball through Smithies. Short ball, one off the ruck, left-hand side. McMeekin's back on the field now. There's 4 Australians to wrap him up, and they force the error. Mike McMeekin loses the ball. Now they're pushing, shoving again. Reuben Cotter was the man that got the ire of Mike McMeekin, and he's got Australians all the way around him. You could see Isaiah Yeo just giving Jez Littner knowing look, saying, I'm going to just try to help you diffuse this, get him away. But it's starting to become heated. Still only 4 points in it. Now they're going again, Kipsy, 13.5.
That was a sledge from Reuben Cotter when the ball was lost. McMeekin just fumbled a little bit. It was touched by an Australian player. But you know what? That was a beautiful take by Tom Burgess. That's being on replay. Joe Burgess, I should say, got him and Johnson mixed up again. But really, you know that the sledging part, it's ungentlemanly conduct. You can get in trouble for it. It's written in the rules.
Go away.
I'm telling you.
Go away.
I am telling you. I read the international rules.
Ungentlemanly conduct in here.
I'm going to show you. I'll show you later. So.
England, I think England might be challenging whether there was a strip in there, but also Grant Atkins is, because he obviously told him no more, and then
I think it's Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh definitely strips the ball. That should be a penalty.
Yeah. But Grant Atkins isn't looking at that because England didn't challenge it. He's just brought them over to say no more. The next one is going to the bin. So England didn't challenge that strip. And you can hear the fans aren't happy. Reece Walsh has got away with one there, but
a strip for your life.
But, you know, England are well within their right to challenge that. They've still got a challenge left. So
they could have, definitely.
You know,
after the 10 seconds.
That's not on Grant Atkins. He's called time out to bring them all over because of the blow up. And maybe it was.
Hang on, I thought he said no more. He said it fast Sumal to the bin.
Yeah.
Well, he got that wrong.
Well, okay, but here he's just said no more. And there was rubbish again straight away, and nothing happens. Look at them go now. They are fired up, and so are we.
Shibasaki is muscled to the ground, manhandled by 4 of them. Reece Walsh has gotten involved as the third man in. Reece Walsh is going to have to go to the bin. And now there's going to be possibly an England player as well. Australia had the ball in their hand. Shibasaki took the tackle, a heavy tackle of 4 England players. But Reece Walsh gets involved. And now Grant Atkins is talking to Isaiah Yeo.
Reece wanted a challenge.
They don't have one.
I know, that's the issue. Look,
number 2.
Knee in the head. Like, that's what Reece Walsh is blowing up about, right? That's what he's trying to challenge. But the Kangaroos don't have any challenge. So what are we looking at?
So are they suggesting that Shibasaki was kneed in the head as he goes to ground?
Yeah.
Oh, there's not.
That's a little. You need him in the head.
You need him in the head, yeah. It's a penalty. It would be a penalty for Australia.
It's Joe Burgess.
But what are we looking at? How are we looking at this? What's going on?
So all I can see, there's no challenge because Australia don't have one.
Joe Burgess got binned because that was a knee to the
has
head.
Grant Atkins just decided to go to the video for that? Like, why we've stopped the game?
Well, I thought he stopped the
Foul
game because
play.
it's another melee. And he's told them 3 times. So
just as part of the tackle, Reece comes in unnecessarily and it all flares up again. So he lost the ball now. That's the consequence.
Okay, so Reece Walsh is going to stay on the park.
So if Reece Walsh stays on the park, he should be in the bin.
I agree.
Because he's 3 times now. Don't let this happen again. But there was a knee to the head by Joe Birch. It wasn't a bad one, but he kneed him in the head. He thrust his knee into the head of the player.
I understand that, yeah.
This is a test match, so this is how it should be.
I know how good. You can hear the fans roaring as well. 15 gone second half. England attacking Australia's line down by 4. One off the ruck, left-hand side. Oletsky takes the tackle of 4 Australians, including Carrigan and Cotter. He'll play the ball for Lytton. Left-hand side for Smith. Gets it out the back for Lewis, and Lewis is grabbed around the collar. The fans want a high tackle. Lewis wants a high tackle. Grant Atkins isn't going to play along. So England continue. 5 away from the line. They come to the right. It ends up with Oletsky. He's 3 away. Backs into the defence. Takes the tackle. Standing up only a metre away now. He plays the ball. They come right for Smith. Gets it away to Williams. Williams will grab it towards the in goal for Burgess, who goes without it over the touch-in goal line. A 20-metre restart for Australia. Reece Walsh has ended up in the crowd.
Wow, that's incredible. That was not really a good kick there. And this is the problem for England. They've had so much ball, oodles and oodles of ball, but they can't score.
It wasn't a terrible kick. Joe Burgess has raced through, and he was probably 20 centimetres away from getting a hand on it. But Burgess was just a little slow off the mark again there, and Australia coming across in cover. But that is a huge let-off for the Kangaroos, because the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, they have been camped in their own red zone.
There was a big tackle by Hudson Young and Mikey Lewis.
So we've had 16 minutes of the second half. Australia leads England 12 points to 8. And Australia now, through Reuben Cotter, can find themselves in England's territory. 8 metres past the halfway line. Grant's at dummy half. One off the ruck, right-hand side, Isaiah Yeo. And Isaiah Yeo takes it up towards the 30-metre line, with Watkins coming over the top to complete the tackle. It's the final play, so Cleary goes to the air, and the bomb will come down just short of the 10-metre line. Battered back by Australia, still the last. Munster will kick again. Chasing through is Adokar. Newman comes across to bat it over the dead ball line. Adokar is saying he was taken out unfairly by Harry Newman. This is a bit of a battle as well after they came into contact at the other end. But I think Newman has done just enough here. 16 and a half gone second half. Australia 12, England 8.
What about Josh Adokar? Not in picture again. So if they're going to go to the bunker to rule him onside, offside, we wouldn't have had a clue.
Well, there's absolutely nothing in the contact between Newman and Adokar. Adokar wasn't happy. Now the long goal line dropout that was taken about 3 metres out from the goal line. Munster takes it on the bounce on halfway. Reuben Cotter returns it up over the 40. And there's 3 England players, including Oledzki and McMeekin, to stop him. 37 away from England's line. There is fire in this test match. Harrigan has met in a strong tackle, maybe over the horizontal as well. Similar to the one at the other end, and the referee allows play on. Geez, I think Grant Atkins is playing with fire here. It's blown up a couple of times. He hasn't taken too much more action other than a penalty, and the fire is still starting to just simmer away as Australia, through Hudson Young, finds himself 20 metres away from England's line. It's play 4. He gets it for Grant at dummy half, left-hand side. Munster on it goes to Cotter, and Reuben Cotter is held in the tackle. Thought about the offload, thought the better of it after the tackle of Pierce Paul. Final play for Australia. Grant at dummy half. Munster wide first receiver. Cleary grubbering a bit behind the line. It was touched by Smith, but it went backwards, and he gets it at the second attempt, and England will have the ball 10 away from their own line with 18 gone second half in a firecracker. Australia 12, England 8.
Well, it's a powder keg, and that was almost a good kick there by Nathan Cleary, but it was particularly well read there by Harry Smith. Great reflexes of the cat.
Like he's in the first slip at Perth Stadium in just under 2 weeks' time with the travelling England Ashes
team. What
team.
about Headingley, just over the road?
It is, across the road, yeah. As England have the ball now 35 away from their own goal line, and a good carry as well, taking it up towards halfway by Oledzki. They come left-hand side now, and that's a poor kick from Smith. It might have touched another England player on the way through. Grant picks it up on his own 40, over the halfway line, left-hand side Shibasaki, and now Burgess has to come across in cover to shot Shibasaki 30 away from England's line. So it's starting to get a little expansive now here. Harry Grant takes the tackle. Burgess is going to continue on with this. Is the tackle still live? No, it wasn't. Grant Atkins had called held. Joe Burgess kept going, and dragged him over the touchline. That is a dumb penalty by Joe Burgess, and Australia will have the ball through a penalty 20 away from England's line.
Ridiculous.
Look, the only thing it does is that it allows it was early in the tackle count. They're not going to make much territory. What it does do, it allows his defensive line to get set. So while I'm not sure that was the play from Burgess, it's actually not the worst penalty to give, because they were scrambling England, so now they get the defensive line set.
15 away from England's line. Angus Crichton is brought to ground by 3 England players. Now Grant Atkins has seen a problem here. Now he calls time back on for Crichton to play the ball. Right-hand side, Dearden's on the park. Carrigan slips over, and the England...
I love that one.
Enjoy it, don't they? A quarter of this game to go. 4 in it. Cleary's at first receiver. He goes back into traffic, takes the tackle, 7 away from the line. Third gone in this set. Cleary up slowly to play it for Grant. He comes back right, young, strong towards the line. Taken in the tackle by Watkins and a couple of others. Grant short towards the line, Staggs just short. Great goal line defending by England. Great run by Katoni Staggs as well, changing direction. Grant at dummy half, hands in the ruck as he tries to get the pass away penalty. The hands had reached out as Harry Grant was trying to get the pass away out of dummy half. Grant Atkins blows the penalty. That's a bit of a coach killer. Final play.
Settle things down, take the 2 points, get it out to converted try. And that was ridiculous because they're all offside.
They're all offside, yeah.
They're all offside. There's hands over the place. Take the 2 points, extend the margin to 6 and just settle things down because they're going to take the tap.
Taking the 2. Harry Grant takes the tap. Isaiah Yeo towards the line.
This is a test match. I know it's a dead rubber, but that's ridiculous.
Well, Golden Point wouldn't come into play because it's not a decider. So if they go out to 6 and then England scored a converted try and it finished all square at 14-all, it would remain that way at full time because Australia had already wrapped up the series. Crichton has the ball 8 away from the line centre field. Grant's at dummy half. Goes himself. Harry Grant scores the try. Don't worry about the 2 points, Johnson. They've got 4 and probably 6. Australia 16, England 8, 19 to go. And that from Harry Grant at dummy half could just about be the whitewash.
Yeah, excellent play there by Harry Grant. He realised they've been rushing up on the outside because they've been very emotional, very passionate, the English, and they didn't take the 2 points, which I find surprising, but nevertheless the proof's in the pudding, and that is Australia scoring. But Harry Grant realised that on the outside they're racing up. Well, Mikey Lewis, again, he's come up with a ordinary play at dummy half. But dummy half, he ran in behind them. They couldn't make the tackle. They're all standing there, thinking the ball's going to go on the outside. Harry has picked their pocket again. Munster and Grant have been excellent.
Yeah, that's a trademark of Harry Grant. Suddenly looked like he was going to go right, went left, and then just caught the defensive line short. This is the best game he's played all series. He's looked so dangerous out of dummy half. He and Cam Munster are the 2 shining lights for Australia, and otherwise dull performance so far.
Cleary from right in front. Some wizardry from Harry. It was outstanding play out of dummy half. What are you looking at me like that for, Johnson?
Harry Potter.
There you go. Thanks for getting the reference. Nathan Cleary adds the extras. From right in front, he is 3 from 3 this afternoon, and Australia are out by 18 points to 8 with 17 and a half to go. And some breaking news from up at Bethania Heights. Some good news as well because Baby Beck is now sound asleep. So once again, we've put her to sleep for 3 weeks in a row. So that's wonderful news. Tess and Cess, I hope you guys can enjoy the rest of the footy. 17 to go with Australia 10-point leaders in the third Ashes test. Pat Carrigan off the back fence. 4 England players wrap him up. 15 away from Australia's line. And 8 metres in from the western touchline. Grant's at dummy half. One off the ruck, right-hand side. He goes for Crichton. Crichton's met in a strong tackle as well. England certainly can't be criticised for their defensive efforts in the main, but that was poor right close to the line there to allow Harry Grant to straight through from dummy half. As Australia have the ball through Isaiah Yeo now, 29 away from his line. Grant comes out of dummy half, one off the ruck right for Young. Hudson Young does a bit of a forward roll there. Gets up and plays the ball 12 away from the halfway line. One off the ruck, left-hand side. Munster's going for 40-20 here. He might get it if he gets a good bounce. He doesn't. It just sits up, allowing Lewis to come back and pick it up for England. But Munster saw it was on play 4, and a good chase from Tom Dearden and Shibasaki. Strong hit on Lewis, 20 away from his line. Smart play there from Cameron Munster, who's been so good tonight, John Gibbs.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Harry Grant and Munster, we've been singing their praises all night. But look, it's been a solid effort by the Australians. They get held and they've thrown the ball. So, hang on, should that be a penalty? If you've thrown the ball after he calls held, what's the difference of getting raked in the touch after?
They've changed it.
No, it wasn't simultaneous though. He called held and there was a delay. You can't just get rid of the rules.
Gives his name.
Oh, it's unsportsmanlike conduct from you, Jonty.
Ungentlemanly conduct. As Williams kicks on the final play down the channel on the right-hand side, Walsh comes across and takes it 10 metres away from the line, and then he'll return it back into centre field, where the England chase is muscling up again.
It was excellent.
Yeah, they're defending so well through the middle of the field, but it's just on that goal line where they let themselves down momentarily there for Grant, which has probably turned it on its head. There's 15 to go. Australia lead by 10. Looking for a back-to-back Ashes series whitewashes. They hadn't had a 3-0 win since 1986. The Invincibles Mark II I think, wasn't it, Gibbsy, in 86?
Stand up, call.
Invincibles 82?
82 was Invincible.
Yeah, and then, I thought they were called Mark. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Could be.
Left-hand side, Dearden gets it away to Yo, and Isaiah Yo has...
The original and the best led by famous Max Grillage.
In 82, yeah, absolutely. As they come left-hand side through Crichton. Crichton gets it away to Munster, bounces off his chest, he recovers. They're 30 away from England's line. Munster 20 metres away from the line, was going towards the touchline. He throws the ball back in, but he throws it straight to Burgess. So England get the ball back, but Munster probably had to throw that because he was toying with the touchline. And now Johnson has the ball for England in centre field with 14 minutes to go, and Australia leading 18 points to 8, MC.
Yeah, again, they just got a little bit loose with the ball there, the Kangaroos. They just got to make sure they don't invite England with too many opportunities. There's only 14 minutes left, but England will still fancy their chance of trailing by 10 as they throw the ball around.
Yeah, they have to now, don't they? Newman flick pass out the back. It goes to ground, but Watkins goes up and picks it up off the bounce, but then he loses the ball. He's asking for a challenge. He's saying it was stripped out. They will probably challenge this one with 13 and a half to go because Watkins is insisting that this was stripped out, Jonty.
Yeah, well, it's one-on-one. No, he's lost it. Doesn't matter, it's one-on-one. I don't know what he's doing. At least we won't have any challenges for the rest of the game.
That is a terrible challenge for Callum Watkins.
It was one-on-one. It was Katoni Staggs and Callum Watkins. And Watkins was trying to get free and offload the ball.
The only possible thing that they could get here is if it's knocked out one-on-one and it goes forward off Staggs. But he's trying to get rid of the ball.
Just something from the behind angle, please.
If this isn't a loose carry, I'm not here.
You're here.
Yeah, so in possession, Watkins is looking to offload the ball at this point.
Correct.
He knocks it off.
Then loses the ball. We've already seen the first angle. Challenge unsuccessful.
No more challenges.
Thank you, Tom Grant. Appreciate that.
Well, yeah, they're so silly. You think we're missing something.
Well, we're starting to question our own, judgment. Exactly.
I mean, that's a bit of a Hail Mary because they need the ball. 13 minutes to go, they need to score 2 tries. What have they scored? The whole series has scored 2, haven't they?
Correct.
Someone, Mike, head in.
So they will do some defending here, just inside their own half, Australia. That was a flat pass as well for Shibasaki. He takes it over the halfway line, about a metre inside England's territory. Right-hand side for Munster. And Cameron Munster is 5 inside England's half. We haven't seen Keon Koloamatangi yet tonight, but he's on the park now. Hudson Young getting an early mark. And here's Tino. I thought he was going to get the ball there, but Dearden dummies and goes himself. Tino's back on the field as well. But Dearden plays the ball about 35 away from England's line. They go right. Cleary eyes up. He goes himself up towards the 20. Almost through there. That was good from Nathan Cleary. Playing the ball for Grant. Left-hand side, Dearden, first receiver. Gets it away for Munster. Out the back for Walsh. Tries to throw the pass out to Adokar. They attempt the intercept, England. It's all going from bad to worse because they lose the ball. Walsh picks it up on the rebound, scores the try, and Australia are out 22 points to 8. They look to affect the intercept there, England, and it falls kindly for Reece Walsh, who scored a double in the first test. He went without one in the second, but he's got another here, and Australia lead 22-8 with 12 and a half to go.
Well, they scored a similar one in the grand final of that, where the ball just hit the ground and it was picked up. But this was stretched to the limit. Actually, that might have been... No, that was in the game against Penrith in the week before the grand final, the one that they came from behind. Similar situation where they threw the ball, it was knocked down. And on this occasion, that's what happened. Reece Walsh threw it. That was a bit of a ricochet there. I'm not sure whether there was a hand from the Australians. I don't think so. Harry Newman certainly touched it. It was picked up there. The scraps were picked up by Reece Walsh. But there is a bit of a ricochet here, Glenn.
I reckon Harry Newman could have made a better job of it, to be honest. It was pretty much right into his chest. I don't think Walsh has got a fingertip on it before he regathers. I think he's going to be okay. But, of course, they will check it anyway through Tom Grant. But Australia's starting to have a bit of fun here, MC.
Yeah, it's celebration mode for the Kangaroos. 11 minutes left of their very, very long season, so I expect them to throw the ball around a fair bit now.
Cleary right in front, adds the extras, 24 points to 8. He's 4 from 4 tonight. Reece Walsh has his 3rd try of the series, and the Kangaroos are in complete control at 24 points to 8.
And the difference between the two sides hasn't been enormous. It's just been the fact that they don't have a good enough attack. Australia's got better individual players, so they can just provide a little bit of spark when they need it. But that was a lucky one. Harry Newman has played at that goal for the intercept. As you say, he should have taken it.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be racing away and scoring or anything, but there's a short kick-off anyway.
Yeah, they bat it back and they will get the ball here. England picked up through Mikey Lewis, who's got space to graze in through the middle of the park. Gets away from a couple. Dummies to Farnworth goes himself. They can start this set 21 away from the line. Quick shout out to Angus Crichton. I think he probably just put Newman off enough with that ball coming through that allowed him to lose the ball and Reece Walsh to pick it up. England are attacking Australia again. 15 away from the line. They'll come right through Smith. Gets it away to McMeekin, and McMeekin is held up in the tackle. Australia, despite leading 24 points to 8, won't want to let England in here. They'll want to finish this in style. Lytton through the hands, left-hand side for Williams. Ball over the top for Tom Johnson, but it was just a bit too slow and it was loopy and a bit of a flighted pass, so it allowed Australia to scramble in defence and bring Johnson down. Right-hand side they come for England, back into the middle of the park. Matty Lees has the ball 12 away in centre field. Good to see Matty Lees finish a game at Headingley. Last time he was here, he had to leave at half-time for the birth of his daughter, but he's here till full-time this evening. Now the kick over the top, ends up on the right-hand side, and Burgess almost comes up with it, but once again, the Australian defence scrambles, and Burgess on the final play is held with the ball in his hand after the kick over the top. It was a good take, but the Australian defence was equal to the task next to the line, and Australia lead 24-8 with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, good work in particular by Addo-Carr and Munster to stop Burgess getting over the line. So they don't want to give up another try. But as we said previously, one try in the first half, a dive over from dummy half from Darryl Clark from 1 metre out. Here's a chance on the inside, it's Losser. And then in this game, they scored the one try after a good Jesuit and burst and kicked through for George Williams. And that's it. 2 tries in the whole series. That's really good defence.
Nathan Cleary's been poor today.
That was a poor pass.
That was a bit of a hospital pass that Tom did on the inside. He's been okay this series, Nathan Cleary, but I don't like tonight. This morning's game is not been one of his best.
Yeah, that was.
He's frustrated too. He's showing his frustration there. Disappointed in himself. Here's England now with another opportunity.
Yeah, 20 away from Australia's line. They were in front from the scrum, Australia though, so they'll get a penalty here, England. Cleary's getting frustrated as well. He has some afters with Herbie Farnworth, and that's not part of Nathan Cleary's game. So you do see the frustration from the Penrith halfback. And England with the penalty, 19 away from Australia's line.
Back 8 metres.
Lytton takes the tap. One off the ruck goes, or one off the tap goes Callum Watkins. 9 away from the line. Plays it for Lytton again at dummy half. They come right. With the hands to Williams, gets it away to Lewis, dummies, goes himself. Shibasaki and Munster are there. So Lewis will take the tackle, 5 away from the line. They get 6 again. Cam Munster too slow to get off. They play the ball for Lytton, dummy half, left. Williams gets it away to Matty Lees. Alex Wormsley is on the field again for England as well. 5 away from the line. Short ball, McMeekin, flick pass out the back, ends up with Kai Pearce-Ball. Now the ball over the top from Mikey Lewis, ending up with Newman. Now another flick pass from Newman, back to Kai Pearce-Ball. But they're going backwards here, England. Another flick pass. This time Harry Newman can't hold on to it. Might have gone backward off Newman, knocked on by Josh Addo-Carr. No, first one was England, so Australia will get the ball. There's 7 minutes to go and Australia lead 24-8.
If Addo-Carr had have taken that, he would have raced the length of the field and scored, but he couldn't pick
Harry
it up.
Grant got in the way.
Yeah, he did. He did get in the way. He ran spoiler for him, but they're trying everything. But Australia's defence is too good. It's a combination of good defence from Australia and really inept attack from England.
Agreed. And Josh Addo-Carr's had a good game. He's been in everything, hasn't he? He's tried hard. He's been ever present. Kangaroos have the ball here.
Yeah. I think it was knocked
First one
on.
Ruled to be a knock on.
Yeah, it was knocked on by Harry Newman before Josh Addo-Carr knocked it on. I thought it just bounced off his shoulder, but the referee obviously decided that it did go forward. And Australia will play the ball 30 metres away from their own line with just over 6 minutes to go in the final test match of the Ashes series at Headingley, where Australia will wrap up a 3-0 series victory And it is with Tino who loses the ball. It's picked up by Harry Newman now. So Tino, another error for Australia, and Newman can start this new set on play 0, 4 metres inside Australia's territory. Just a good hit there that forced the ball loose from Faisal Malaawi as he hit the deck. England have the ball 5 inside Australia's territory as Lytton doesn't make too many yards out of dummy half on that occasion. So they come right now. Mike McMeekin gets up over the 40-metre line. He's 31 away from Australia's line in centre field. Lytton plays it, left-hand side, one off the ruck he goes. That's a short, flat forward ball surely to Matty Lees, but once again they allow it to continue, and Matty Lees is 22 away centre field. Lytton dummy half, left-hand side he goes. Smith short for Watkins. Callum Watkins has looked lively tonight as well. He's 10 away from the line centre field. 5 to go, play 4 for England. Now they go to the skies through Harry Smith. Coming through is Kai Pearce-Paul. Does he bat it backwards? Josh Adokar puts a hand on it there as well. I think the referee has said England knock on first. So this will be an Australian play the ball 10 metres away from their own goal line with Pearce-Paul knocking it on. Yeah, as he goes up to try to take the catch. 5 to go, Australia 24, England 8.
It's a little bit raggedy, isn't it? And the kick is the best opportunity that England have of scoring, but even that's being well diffused by the Australians. So they've got 5 minutes to keep England out, and this is going to be a whitewash, which has been excellent. And the official man of the match is Harry Grant. Harry Grant, I think that's warranted, but I reckon the Fulton really medal, the inaugural one, will go to Cameron Munster.
Yeah. Can't argue with either of those, John T.
I'd agree with that. Hopefully we hear from Harry Grant quickly after the game, as Tom Dearden has the ball about 30 metres away from the line, and he'll play the ball in centre field. As they go one off the ruck right-hand side, Cleary gets it away to Grant, and then back on the inside for Reece Walsh, who takes the tackle 7 short of the halfway line in centre field. He'll play it for Grant. Dummy half, scooting he goes, and then Dearden is whacked in a big shot, gets up, goes again. But the referee's saying he's held. I'm not sure he was held. He hit the ground, but there was no one on him anyway. Final play, they go right. Koloamatangi has it in his hands. He doesn't want to kick it, so he gets it away to Nwanga. Flick pass back on the inside. It's backwards off to Tony Staggs. 6 again for Australia because the kick from Cleary's charged down. Koloamatangi picks it up, and they had the ball 17 away from the line. I thought that might have gone forward from Katoni Staggs. But anyway, the referee's happy with it, and Australia are 15 away from the line. With 3.5 to go, they could score another one here. Munster, dummies on the inside, goes outside to Angus Crichton, who has his arm free, but he takes the tackle. 8 away from the line. Play 2. Can they put another one here? The icing on the cake for Australia in this comprehensive Ashes series win. Right-hand side. Cleary gets it away to Katoni Staggs. He has Nwini Tawaze, but he takes the tackle. 8 away from the line, play 3, 15 in from the eastern touchline. Koloamatangi's at dummy half. He gets it away to Nathan Cleary on the left-hand side. He's playing in the centres, I think, over there, Koloamatangi. And now Harry Grant is looking for a way through at dummy half. Right-hand side, he goes for Munster. The pass is looked to be intercepted by Farnworth. He knocks it forward, and it is Australia's ball back. No, I beg your pardon, Staggs is still out there. So it is a knock-on for England. Another 6 again. What about that hit from Kai Pearce-Paul on Tom Dearden?
It was a beauty. And 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes and 40 seconds anyway, to score another try. In or out, Michael?
I'm going to say they score.
I agree. I think they'll just finish this test series in style with a try right here, right now.
Munster stepping through.
So they have the scrum, 10 away from the line. Grant's at the base of it, left-hand side. Walsh steps off the left foot, goes through and scores the try. Walsh with a double for the second time this series. Australia 28, England 8, way too easy for the Australian fullback. Potentially the golden boot for the IRLF elects. We'll hear that tomorrow, but Australia 28, England 8 with a kick to come less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, good work there. He's making a late charge for the Fulton really medal. Reece Walsh, he was a bit, out of sorts earlier in the game. He scored 2, though, in the second half. And he's had a great year, Reece Walsh. But, look, they got the ball. He stepped left inside a couple of them. Beautiful work. Inside Kai Pearce-Paul, inside George Williams. Too good. Beautiful work. Just stepping at his best.
Yeah, finished the game strong, Reece Walsh. It was pretty quiet. I think it was the most contained he's ever been, well, for a long time in that first half. Tried to spark the side in the second half and didn't get much joy, but has found it late.
30-8 it'll be at the finish of the game, Glenn. I don't think there's been that big a gulf between the two sides. It's been a really close-fought test match, this one.
Well, when you look at the try scoring, Harry Grant, Reece Walsh double, all with 19 minutes to go. So the first 3 quarters of the game was a real arm wrestle, and if England could find one in that second half, it could have been a different story. But it's been the last 20 minutes of this game where Australia has celebrated the Ashes victory, really. Nathan Cleary keeps his copybook tidy. 5 from 5 tonight. It has been a wonderful performance by the Australian side, and they will go on to win the Ashes series 3-0. After convincing wins, 26 points to 6 in the first test and 14 points to 4 in the second test at Everton. And unfortunately, they are short series, but it has been wonderful to see Ashes Rugby League back. And, of course, a test series next year, a World Cup next year on home soil, which would be great. A 10-team World Cup with Australia hosting that, and we find out tomorrow who the final team is, with Cook Islands playing South Africa at Parramatta Stadium. Of course, a huge afternoon of rugby league, culminating in that Pacific Cup final as well.
Look out!
As they go right, Nwangini Owaze from the kickoff. He's got on the outside Katoni Staggs. The pass is forward. Staggs is saying that he's been dragged off the ball, but the ball's gone into touch. Don't forget, tomorrow, Australia-New Zealand in the Pacific Cup women, with the call from Brett Sprigg, and then Andrew is back at the ground. New Zealand-Samoa in the Pacific Cup final. Staggs was blowing up that he got dragged off the ball. He probably had a case to answer as well. Ivan Cleary in the crowd. And Australia, with second left, will celebrate Ashes victory over England. 30 points to 8. The ball is still alive. They go out to Harry Newman. He finally takes the tackle, and Grant Atkins calls a halt to proceedings. There's boos around Headingley, but the final result doesn't tell the story. It was a battle of attrition. It was a tough Ashes test. Tempers flared, but in the end, John Gibbs, Australia proved their value in getting the job done late.
Yeah, too good. They were too good for them. And Reece Walsh, he's celebrating. He's scored 2 tries in the second half. As I said previously, what a year he's had. But England, the gap is in attack. And Australia's attack wasn't, it wasn't mint either. There was plenty of imperfections in their attack, but really, England didn't really look like scoring. They scored after an overread at dummy half with Jez Litton went through, kicked, George Williams got the ball, and then we had Darryl Clark, who got dropped after the first test anyway, fall over from dummy half. So the defensive effort from Australia was really good. Over 3 games, they didn't relent. Just too good for England.
Yeah, the difference was, you look at the big moments across the series, Reece Walsh in game 1, Cam Munster in game 2, Harry Grant game 3. That's the difference between these two sides at the moment.
A bit of congratulations.
Let's get down pitch side.
Reece.
Just trying to get hold of Reece Walsh.
Congratulations. You look like you enjoyed yourself out there tonight.
Yeah, it was a tough one, mate. We knew that they were going to come out, firing. It wasn't our best footy, but we got the job done in the end. I think it's something that we should be proud of, and really build on what we want to go through for the future.
Yeah, you said build on it. Your attack seems to get better and better. How confident are you going into the World Cup?
Oh, mate, I wouldn't say that's the best we could play for sure. Bit scrappy, but just proud of our defence, the way we worked hard, and we're just really hungry to get better as a group, and I think that's something that we can take pride in.
Yeah, and in terms of the Ashes, how much have you enjoyed your time over in England, and would you love to come back? Obviously, you're coming back playing OKR, but how much have you enjoyed this trip?
Oh, mate, it's been amazing. Back home, everyone talks about the weather. We came over and it was beautiful, so, it's a really cool experience to have however many supporters out here in the stands, mate. The game's doing really well over here, and we want to boost it and make it a lot better, so anytime I can get over here and show face and get the young kids out and, sign some stuff and get some photos made here. It's a dream from, the kid that, I grew up to where I am now, so proud.
You're a superstar, Reece. Congratulations. Good trip home.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
Harry,
good words. Here's the man of the match.
Congratulations on the player of the match performance. Have you enjoyed this Ashes series?
Thank you. Yeah, it's been awesome, and for a lot of us guys, it's been our first opportunity to play against England. For a lot of the England boys, first opportunity to play against Australia. And it's been enjoyable. I hope everyone here has enjoyed the spectacle of the 3 games. We've, played some really good footy. Yeah. London, Liverpool, now here in Leeds, and this was the best atmosphere we've had. So thanks everyone for turning up. But hopefully this concept can keep going for many years to come.
And did you save your best performance for last?
Probably everyone sort of had a bit better of a feel for each other's games, and everyone was probably pretty keen to play footy, but it didn't go in our favour in a sense of not completing our sets, so we sort of just pulled it back a little bit, simplified things, and we played some good footy tonight, but as a team we just kept building each game, so that's all we can ask for.
And does this stand you in good stead for the World Cup next year, this 3-match series?
Yeah, it does, and I just think it's enjoyable. You're playing with the best players in the competition. You get to learn off them. You get to enjoy each other's company, and then make memories for life. We're going to remember this forever, and hopefully in 12 months' time there's an opportunity to pull the green and gold on again, and we're in better stead from this camp.
Player of the match, Harry Grant, 30 points to 8 in Australia over England to wrap up the Ashes. Josh Adokar, Hudson Young, Harry Grant, then a double to Reece Walsh, Nathan Cleary with 5 from 5, George Williams, the only try for England, Harry Smith converting it, and a penalty goal at the end of the first half. 30 points to 8. Thank you for listening. Thank you, MC.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonty. Get some sleep.
Good morning.
Thank you, Pete, Roger Clemson. Thank you to Adam Jones in the studio. Thanks for listening. Good night.